G'day team, I'm your host Harley Fox. Welcome to another episode of the Grey Man Podcast. Today on the show we've got Ash Semmens. Ash was a clearance diver, chief clearance diver in the Navy. Awesome story, awesome chats. I really enjoyed this podcast. I hope you guys do too. Once again, just give me a like, give me a follow, subscribe on YouTube and Spotify to help the channel grow, and appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here. Sweet. All right. Ash, welcome, mate.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It's nice to be on the Grey Man podcast. Like I said, just the end of the cracker of a name. So looking forward to ripping in.
Yeah, beautiful. So you're a clearance diver in the Navy?
Yeah, once upon a time in what feels like a different life now. Yeah, it's...
You want to explain to the folks at home that might not understand what that means, what a diver is?
Yeah, for sure. So we are what is the Navy's answer to pretty much anything that's underwater. Our main focus is looking at unexploded ordnance, being sea mines or whatever's delivered to that marine environment, and then sort of the recovery, salvage type jobs as well. And then we have a more specific niche that some of the guys go down the line of, sort of TAG East and that tactical assault group, domestic counterterrorism line.
So you are considered SF of the Navy?
I won't ever say yes to that title. Some people will, and there's some similarities, but there's no real special forces part of the clearance diving network, which again, some of my brethren will be upset to hear that. But at the end of the day, that's the truth.
So you just tag along with TAG East and stuff and help them do the underwater stuff?
Look, the boys out there are fully qualified and they work in the grey and green roles that go on out there. So yes, that is considered a special forces posting. I've never been there, so I will never wear that T-shirt.
Yeah, right. Cool. So whereabouts, where are you from, dude? Where'd you grow up?
So I grew up in Adelaide, down south, a little sort of seaside town or suburb called Seaford, and pretty much just lived on the beach for pretty much until I joined the Navy, realistically. Heaps of surf club time, a lot of time in the pool, but yeah, it was a pretty easy, fun lifestyle, that sort of the kid of the 80s and early 90s. You've got your bike and your surfboard and you're happy.
Yeah, right. Nice. Little surfer kid.
Yeah.
Was there much, was it a small town?
Look, back then it was. It's just, it's sort of mixed in between the city and McLaren Vale, which is a big wine district that's quite popular. So it is getting a lot busier now. Each time I go home, there's something else being built and getting bigger and bigger. But back then it was just a cruisy little seaside suburb, and it was an epic place.
Super chill.
Yeah, man.
Didn't have too much of the small town syndrome, gangs and violence and all that sort of stuff?
Nah, not really. It was pretty relaxed. We were separated far enough from sort of the city and even out to the northern suburbs of Adelaide, where that sort of was a bit more of a thing. It sort of came as I sort of moved more to be a teenager, and as you know, like you go to those sort of ages and you get involved in a bit more of that sort of stuff. But I mean, it was pretty low level.
Yeah. Just hanging out with the surfboard.
Mate, it's the city of churches, so not too much can go wrong.
Cool. Did you get any jobs and stuff growing up?
Yeah, I had I left school fairly early, chasing this grand Olympic dream and all that sort of stuff, because I was swimming a lot. So just local Foodland, cruising in there, serving people their ham and sausages and stuff. So pretty low level, but it paid the bills for the time and allowed me to chase those sporting dreams that obviously never eventuated, and saw me becoming pretty good in the water, and then easy transition into the Navy from there.
Yeah, right.
So I was.
What was your swimming leg?
Look, I was middle and long distance freestyle, which really made it challenging in the golden years of Australian swimming with dudes like Thorpe and Hackett cruising around. But and look, they're the big names, and then there's probably a couple of smaller, less successful guys due to them. But then you throw in Perkins, Kowalski, like the real golden years. And then for a dude like me who had some talent, but just not a world record breaking Olympic champion, so it really made it challenging for me, which I'm fine with. Like
playing basketball in Chicago around the Bulls era.
Exactly, mate. You just don't get a look in when there's guys like that around. And that was 100% me. While I thought I was doing pretty good and people were giving me a high five, I was like, I'm never going to be that guy.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
Yeah. The expectations were sorted.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like some people like get upset with those sort of things, and whilst it would have been nice and life would have been pretty good to be a professional athlete, but not everyone can do that.
Yeah. You wonder what the difference is, like, when you put so much into something and then you see someone so much better and you're like, fuck, I'm never going to get to that level. Like,
Mate.
what do they think? And, like, they're just like, I'm a rocket. Fucking, no one can catch me.
Yeah, like I had experiences, like a good one is doing a 1,500 metre race against Grant Hackett, who's just come out from breaking the world record, and he touches the wall. You're in the lane next to him and you've still got 2 laps to go. So you're like a minute or so behind this dude. You're like, why the fuck am I even in here? How am I ever going to make up that much time? It's ridiculous. Like,
I saw a video the other day. It was like a dude standing on the, what do you call it, the podium or whatever, the jump off. And he's just sort of standing there and everyone goes and he just stands there looking at his watch, just chilling out, and they get to like halfway down the pool and he just dives in and almost catches them underwater and then just within a few strokes touches the wall, and it's like they're just built different.
yeah, mate, they're built different, like physically and mentally, like on so many different levels.
Yeah.
Look at them and they're, like Thorpe was a good example, just a different dude, not good, not bad, just different, like operated at a different level with so many things.
Yeah.
Just see him cruise up, like almost waltz up to the block, get on, and then fucking see you later. Like no one even gets to look
paddles.
at him. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I used to work with Kenrick Monk.
Yep.
Heard of him?
Yep.
Yeah, he went to the Olympics a couple of times.
Yeah. Just really talented people, individuals. Like it's nice to have the experience of being around them and just observing. And that's not just swimming, that's any athlete, or even you look at elite business people, like all those sort of people, just look at them and learn and observe what they do.
Yeah.
It's nice to sort of, grow from that.
So when did the swimming career start and finish?
Look, started, I guess, to call it a career, probably around 15. I started taking it relatively serious. Did the 2000, 2004 Olympic trials.
Right.
And then joined the Navy in 2005. So 2004, I realised, all right, well, I'm just never going to be good enough. Have a look up and out and see what else is there. The old boy used to be in the Navy, so that sort of cued my interest a bit. I was already good in the water, so when I saw this diver job, like cruising around, diving, playing with explosives, shooting guns, jumping out of helicopters, like that looks like a pretty...
Sign me up.
Yeah, man, yeah. And I, like... Without blowing my own whistle, I found that transition quite easily because I'd come from a fairly high-end training sort of background to then roll into the Navy, and they're like, all right, get up early and go and train. I'm like, well, this is the same as being at home. Yeah. Like, all right, now go get in the pool or get in the ocean. I'm like, well, this is the same as what I've always done. So I was really lucky in that regard that I found a lot of those sort of skills were just natural to me anyway.
Yeah, nice. What'd your dad do in the past?
He was a QMG, so what these days is known as a bosun's mate. So sort of jack of all trades, weapons experts, that sort of thing.
Scrubbing the deck.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sort of very, I guess I don't mean to offend anyone, but very general duties type role.
Yeah, it is, yeah. They still do cool shit, boarding parties.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like I've worked with a lot of bosuns and doing boardings and that sort of stuff, and they're super capable and very good people. It's just the job profile is everyone needs that sort of job profile.
Yeah, they're basically the grunts of the Navy.
Yeah, very, very, very similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
The old boy, he didn't last too long, got himself in the shit and found himself marched out fairly quickly. So,
Oops.
Yeah, that's right. He doesn't talk about it too often, which I find fairly entertaining. I don't think it was...
Can you say what he did? Or?
Oh, I think he got in a bit of a dust up with sort of the offshore of the day. So the dude that's running the ship when you're in port, they were out on the piss. Went back to go and put their stepping rig on and get a bit fancy and probably go and find himself a love interest for the evening, and got told they couldn't go. So they got him a bit of a dust up, throw old mate off the side of the ship, and the rest is history, as they say. So, he was a short and distinguished career for him.
You have any siblings that... Did the military stuff as well?
Nah, none that did the military stuff. I've got a younger brother. He's a chippy back in Adelaide. Young family, just he's doing his thing and killing it, to be honest. He's
chippy. Just the new doctors, the old tradies.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Like a salt of the earth dude, just gets in, gets the job done, doesn't ask for anything more. Really, really good dude.
Yeah, nice. Still catch up?
As much as we can. Yeah. I'm currently looking at Christmas holidays and that sort of stuff to get down there and hang out with his family. His firstborn son is only 12 hours younger than mine, so they're really quite close. It was cool to go through that sort of pregnancy part, although I was in Afghan for most of the pregnancy. So hot tip to anyone, if you want to get out of the pregnancy, just go and sign up for a theatre of war.
It's self a deployment.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Looking forward to getting back there and hanging out.
Yeah. I've actually seen, it just reminded me, see dudes that like they're posted to Brisbane, for example, and their kids are somewhere else like Townsville, and then they're like, oh, fucking, we'll send you back home to be with your kids if you want. No.
No,
just tell the missus, like, oh, I can't. They just fucking won't let me go.
Yeah, mate, yeah. And look, if I could have been there 100%, I would have been. People often ask, oh, that's really sad that you missed out on the pregnancy and missed out on the birth and blah, blah, blah. And for me, that's just my experience. Like, I don't know any better, so I'm not gonna be upset and cry my milk about it. My relationship with my son is no different to whether I was there for the birth or not.
Yeah, you can't remember that.
Yeah, that's right. It's just our story. I listened to it on the phone, and that was as close as I got, which is cool.
Yeah. Just the one?
Just the one, yeah. I've hung my balls up. I think they're done for the day. Yeah, the one young fella, he's always going on 13 next weekend, so he's enough of a handful by himself.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, my daughter's 10, going on 11 in December. So
yeah, mate, so you're about to get it all too.
I got the snip years ago.
Yeah.
Done. Cool, man. So what age did you see the fucking Navy adverts? And
so what did I join? I joined at 19. So just like I said, back into that 2004 time. I was 18 at the time. Started working through what life's going to look like. Time to be a big boy, put my big boy pants on and try and go and earn my own way in the world rather than living at home. Saw the Navy ads. Like I said, the old boy had been in and done it. So 2 and 2 sort of for me equaled 4, and I went into the recruiting and said, hey, what do you got for me? They offered me the bosun's job or clearance diver, and they said, look, you're going to have to wait for the clearance diver, but from the research I'd done and what they said to me, I was like, I'll wait for whatever that looks like. And they rang me about 5 days later and they said, mate, you're in. So
you're one of the few that actually fucking
100%
work the system.
Like so many of my mates and people that I've been had chatted to in the Navy, and they're like, all right, well, I'm a greenie or a bosun or something. They told me that if I waited, then I could be a diver, or join up now and you can transfer later. And that old story, as we know with experience, is bullshit. Yeah. You get in there like, nah, sorry, mate. The recruiter was talking shit to you.
Yeah. Mate, they're a whole different department. We can't control what they say.
That's right. Yeah. And then they complain about retention and that sort of thing. You're like, mate, just let the dude or the chick join at the job they want to do.
Yeah,
they'll probably fucking stay for longer.
Don't act like you don't have it available.
Yeah, that's right. Stick your head in the sand in 6 or 12 months later and go, oh, it's not our fault.
Yeah,
it fucking is your fault.
Yeah, they need to get their bonuses need to be based on fucking 4-year retention rather than fucking getting them to recruit school.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Some of these, I mean, between us, we can probably fix the world's problems, can't we?
Absolutely. Yeah, I joined as a cook. I went in there to join as a medic. They're like, oh, you'll be waiting 2 years at least to be a medic, or you can go now as a cook. And I'm like, oh, fucking hell, I'm 22 years old or whatever. I don't know, like 2 years. So
let's go. And if you're going in there looking for a job, you probably want it now or within the fairly short term.
Yeah.
So they know that. And if they offer you something, then most people are going to say yes. And then that's where you get stitched up later on.
Yeah. You gave me the whole fucking, cook's the only one that leave with a fucking qualification and you're good to go.
Yeah, mate. And all those things, like you look at all the trades now, whether you're a stoker or a greenie or whatever in the army, they do quite well to not allow you to leave with too many qualifications, i.e. then you've got to hang around and stay and give a bit of extra service. Slowly changing a bit now with RPLs and TAFEs are coming on board, which is a really good thing.
Lots of that. I had a stoker on the other day. It's only an audio one because the fucking camera failed, but it's a good listen. Sean Byrne,
Yeah, nice.
He's a Scottish dude that everyone used to, his nickname was Irish in the Navy.
Stokers are full of good stories too. So
Fuck, it was a cracker.
Some of them,
We were crying. Cool, man. So fucking Cerberus, you do regular Cerberus, and then where do you go for your dive school?
Yeah, mate. So we spent the standard sort of 3 months recruit school, then a few extra specialty courses, weapons courses, like seamanship courses in Cerberus. So we did probably 5 to 6 months of Cerberus, then down to HMAS Penguin, which is in Mossman in Sydney, which for those that don't know is probably the best Navy base within the Navy, barring maybe Creswell down at Jervis Bay. Beautiful little spot tucked away on the cliffs, your own private little beaches, and
Yeah,
mate, epic. So I spent the best part of 18 months there with basic clearance diver training, which some pretty fond memories of those times. Like, it's that little boy's dream. You roll in, you're like, shit, I'm actually doing all this fun stuff now. That stuff that they had on the stickers is real.
Yeah.
Epic. I wouldn't ever change those times. And some of them were pretty hard and challenging and whatever else. Some demons from those times. But again, those things, and the demons from my whole career, they are what they are, but they make you, I think, a better person depending on how you deal with them.
Yeah. Yeah, adversity definitely helps you grow.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, work through those challenges. And for me, any one of those challenges, and this is world according to me, I've grown into the person I am now. So without them, I probably wouldn't understand myself as much as I do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I've pretty much had a pretty hard upbringing, but I think it helped me to understand the world better and shape my ability to make decisions now.
Yeah, that's right. And it takes the time, right? You have to spend time acknowledging and understanding and exploring those things, which is fucking hard, and can take 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, who knows? But
Come to terms with it all.
Yeah, that's right. Once you come out the other side, it's not the experience that happened. It's how that affected you and how that built you and what you grew into from that. That's my take on it, and that's how I try and approach these things. That now, when bad shit happens or traumatic things happen, I still have the natural reactions, but I can then look at it and go, all right, well, what do I get out of that? How do I learn? Because I can concentrate on the negative shit and sit there and drink myself into an oblivion, or I can go, all right, let's take the good from this.
Yeah. So any standout memories from the 18 months down there?
Look, probably the best ones are the group of boys that I did it with. There was 5 of us that finished the course, and we don't catch up a whole lot now. But it's nice when we do. We had a bit of a piss up at my place for a weekend, probably 6 months ago now. And it's like you're still that 18, 20-year-old dude. And they're the sort of those, everyone knows whether you're an AJ or a Navy dude, like get on the piss with the boys and having fun and hanging out. Like that's the shit that you remember, and that's what builds those bonds. So you go through all this ridiculous stuff during the week of long hours and stupid getting yelled at and being told to do push-ups or whatever all this garbage is. And then like, all right, it's Friday Arvo. We've slept literally probably 6 hours for the week because we've been in the water the rest of the time. Can't do that these days, but that OH&S thing's out of the window. Like literally rolling in on a Friday Arvo, getting on the bus, going back to Penguin because we'd been out somewhere remote diving. Going, oi, should we stop through the bottle on the way home? Fucking oath we should. So you just rip in for the weekend, get a good sleep Sunday Arvo, and then just go and get smashed again for the week.
Yeah.
Which, like I said before, I wouldn't change any of that shit. It was epic.
Yeah.
You really find out what you can put your mind and body through when you put in those situations, which is something that I think is lost a bit on defence these days, that they are a little bit overly safe. There's definitely a line there of managing that. But people have to be pushed for those job profiles. I found out later through the jobs that I did, I could always look back at that and go, well, this is easy because I've been there and I've done that, and I know at least that I can deal with fuck all sleep or no food, or you just figure it out. Like the old adapt and overcome becomes a thing very quickly.
Yeah. Train hard, fight easy.
Yeah, exactly right, mate. Like these sayings, and as I get older, I sound like a fucking old bloke saying this. But someone says a saying like that to me and I'm like, oh, fuck. I heard that years ago and I just didn't think it was real. Now I'm like, oh, yeah. whoever came up with that, they're a smart bloke. I'm not. I'm a stupid bloke. Yeah.
Yeah. Those piss-filled weekends are always... I catch up with my Navy mates probably once or twice a year, depending on when their wives let them out.
Yeah.
And every time it's like we always fucking recycle the same stories and we're just dying laughing, but... all the stories are based on fucking dumb shit we did on the piss. That's
right. Like, unfortunately, a little bit of a downer. I had a funeral which I couldn't attend last Friday for a really close mate who passed away, ex-Navy diver. And all the reports and a lot of the boys rang me after, and we obviously all keep in touch. And the stories and the eulogies and those sort of things, the boys were just crying, laughing because of the stupid shit that this dude would do and just his personality, all those sort of things. They're the things that you remember.
Yeah.
Like you don't remember, well, you do remember the hard times, but like all those just funny little experiences that you go through. It's all good stuff.
Yeah, it's a good way to remember their life as well instead of just being all somber.
Yeah, that's right.
Celebrate their life.
Like whenever I go, I don't want people sitting there whinging and again crying into their milk about it. Like go and remember the fun stuff and the good times we had. Because it doesn't do anyone any good sitting there and having a whinge about it.
Yeah, it's a hard pill to swallow. Like we all die.
Yeah, that's right.
We're all going to die. It's just a matter of time. Could be today, could be 5 minutes from fucking now.
Yeah.
Could be in 50 years. But it's still hard to fucking accept, right?
It is.
Hard to take. You're like, we all think we're immortal until fucking it's taken.
And I think as we get older, you sort of realise that obviously you approach that day quicker and quicker and you never know. It could be, like you said, tomorrow, that day. Yeah. That day's coming around. So
we're in our drop dead years, mate.
That's 40s. Right. Like, and when I have mates that pass away for whatever reason, I'm like, oh shit, what's stopping me from being the next one?
Yeah.
Like you do everything you can to not, but then you got to consider like you've got your own child, I got mine, we've got friends, we've got family. Like shit, I got to make the most of these experiences and give as much as I can and take as much as I can and warm my own heart and warm their heart. Yeah. To make our time on the planet. Yeah. As good as we can. That's
fucking oath, mate. My ex-wife. We've got a really great relationship now. She had a real bad scare fucking just recently. Like probably a month ago she got out of hospital. She was in hospital for a month. Yeah. But she got sepsis just fucking randomly. And like she lives her life in the most wholesome fucking bed at 7 o'clock, eats the same things that are like super nutritious every day. She runs ultra marathons. She's up at 4 going to the gym or going for a run. Looks after herself in every way, does recovery, does ice baths and saunas. And then she got sepsis. Yeah. And she's like, what the fuck? Yeah. You can do everything right. Yeah. And it'll still just fucking, you can just get taken out like this.
100%. It's like the big C. It comes for everyone. Like every second person's got cancer the same thing that live these.
1 in 3, yeah.
Yeah, live these perfect lives on point with everything. And all of a sudden, boom. There you go, you cut down. And you make it through it, but it still has a lifelong effect. It doesn't matter.
Changes your outlook though. Like she's all like, same what you were saying before, like you got to, live for the moment and enjoy yourself and find more joy and happiness in life.
100%. That's like the interactions that I have with people, and I don't push my agenda on people at all, but that's my message to anyone. Like go and enjoy yourself. Like you can. Like I still train and eat well and do all those sort of things, but you know what? You can have a day off here and there. You can fucking go and get on the piss. You can do whatever you want. Don't restrict yourself, because at some point you talk to anyone plus 75 or 80 years old, they're like, "What do you regret?" And they're like, "Not fucking living." Yeah. Like, what am I doing now? Because you get to a point where you can't go out and live.
Not spending more time with my friends.
That's right. Go and spend the money. Have time with your friends. Go on the holidays. Like
create the memories.
Yeah, exactly.
That book, Die with Zero. Yeah. It's all about you invest in memories, not in financial gain.
Mate, exactly. I was fishing with a young fella last night, and I put a post up today. I was having a giggle, and the saying, "Teach a man to fish, and he'll eat forever." And I saw that. Yeah, I gave the teach a man to fish, and he'll catch fuck all, but he'll collect memories. Yeah. And that was the point of us last night, just hanging out and doing. Well, like we were never going to catch anything. We were down there like flicking it off, just having a bit of fun. But he had a sick time, and he'll remember these things. Yeah. And so will I, more importantly. Well, probably not. Less importantly. More importantly for him, that he knows that he got to spend some time with his old man.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I take my daughter to Canada every second year, and we spend time skiing and snowboarding together. And this year when we went, I took her to Whistler for a weekend and had just an amazing time up there, and just trying to bank those memories so that when I'm old and fucking frail or gone, she can be like, fucking my dad was awesome.
Yeah, that's right. Like how good is that to have your child look at you and go, dad was all right. He did all right by me in whatever way that is, whether it's holidays or fishing or paying for their school or whatever it is. Yeah. Whatever's important to them a lot of times. And generally, as you know, it's the simple shit. It's sitting on the jetty fishing and talking shit for a while, going down the slopes and falling over and laughing at each other. All that shit is good stuff. Yeah. All that bonding time. It's exactly what it is. Yeah. And then she's getting a bit deep, but as we go, and like he's getting to that age where he's going to need old boy advice, whether it's girls or all that sort of shit that's coming for him very quickly. Yeah, you want him to feel comfortable to open up to you. Yeah, you have to invest that time so then they can come and sit down and go, oi, what do I do here? How does this work? What am I supposed to do? What's the answer? Well, to be honest, fuck, I don't know the answers, but I'll come up with an epiphany at the time if I have to.
Yeah, I don't know, mate. We're all fucking winging it.
Yeah, that's right. Make it up every day, mate. Just make it sound good, bluff your way through it, and everyone will believe you.
So where you are now, you still believe there's adults, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we're just children with grey hair, mate. Yeah.
I think the biggest lesson is there's no such fucking thing.
Yeah, exactly
We're all
right.
just walking around bumping into fucking each other.
Yeah.
Cool, man. So where'd you post after that? WA?
No, I never went. Well, I spent a little bit of time in Perth, but my time in Perth, I jumped straight onto a ship and went to the Middle East. So that was my only real experience. Straight after dive course, I jumped on a plane, flew up to Darwin, I think it was, Darwin or Cairns. It was Darwin. Jumped on HMAS Gascoyne and did some Op Resolute, which is Border Patrol.
Yeah.
So I spent up pretty much the next 18 months bouncing around up there, in and out of Sydney, which I had a partner at the time. She was in Sydney. So as we know, defence life can have a real impact on relationships, and that pretty much ended that relationship, which is what it is. So yeah, illegal fishermen and what was called illegal immigrants, I think, at the time. So chasing them around north of Australia, which was epic. It was my first real posting out of training. So it was nice to roll into a job that felt like there was some impact, that they were making a change. Again, I was very young and quite naive, and whether my opinions are the same now, I'm not sure, but it was really enjoyable. And then, in the quiet times, which there was a lot of quiet times, there was some real good fishing up there. So back to that fishing theme, spent some good time getting some really good fish up there. And again, in and out of Cairns and Darwin as a young fella. I think I was 20 at the time. So you learn a lot in those sort of places with particularly the Navy back then, with drinking culture and Cairns and Darwin. We know where that goes. So yeah, very, I think, formative for me, learning a lot about the Navy, jumping straight onto a ship, small ship albeit, but really good time doing boardings as a young fella and getting a bit of responsibility with taking charge of certain things and driving the vessels that we'd sort of taken command of, driving them back to Australia and stuff. Like,
oh, nice.
Yeah, really, really cool experience as a 20-year-old dude.
Didn't just blow them up.
Some of them we tried lighting on fire. Although they look like a bag of shit when you get on them, they're quite hard to sink. So I get why they use them. Yeah, man.
Terrible, like old fucking Corollas or something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can't sink them. You unload a 50 cal on them, try and burn them, and they sit there for however many hours watching this thing. You're like, oh, we shouldn't have lit that on fire. That's going to take fucking days.
You have to wait there until it's fucking
pretty
disposed
much, yeah, or at least below the waterline. So you're like, all right, no one's going to try and take that. It'll end up on the bottom at some point in time. And the million cockroaches that are on them, they'll probably roll it back to shore. To be honest, they're pretty rough living conditions on those things.
I had a mate on patrollies up in Cairns. I used to always see fucking photos. He'd send photos of him like fishing off the back, catching big fish and stuff. Like, fucking my time in the Navy. Yeah,
man, and diving up there. I mean, it was sick because we had a crew of complement of 5 divers on there. I think so, and there was probably 6 or 7 because we had a couple of officers that were qualified as ship's divers and whatever. So again, if it was quiet, and the boss was a diver, which worked out well for us because if there was nothing going on for a day, so I was like, boys, fuck off. There's a sick reef just down here.
Oh, nice.
Go and do your drills, or just let's come up with a story to get you in the water. So some epic diving, epic fishing, cool jobs going on as well. So I was loving life.
You had a compressor on the boat to fill up the gas tanks.
Yeah. And the mine hunter, so HMAS Gascoyne is a mine hunter, so it's very much designed for the clearance diving unit to go out and find mines and you can charge gas. It's very self-sufficient for any job that we had to do at the time.
Yeah.
So life was pretty easy in terms of what work we were doing.
Any sketchy incidents happen on that deployment? Or
not really. It was pretty benign, the boardings. Again, they're immigrants trying to come for a better life. They're not really... Look, they're motivated to get to Australia, but they're not motivated in terms of they're not going to try and defend themselves generally. We did go through that period of like babies overboard and that sort of stuff, but fortunately I didn't have those experiences. I've got quite a few friends that did, and that's really left some deep scars for them. But for me, I was lucky enough to cruise through that. I mean, some of them would pull out maybe a screwdriver or something. Like Mate, you got a screwdriver. I've got 7 dudes with guns and batons and all sorts. Like, and they realise that shit pretty quickly. And a lot of times we'd go and take them in the ship, either put them on our boat and bring them back to Australia, or leave them on their boat and drive them back to Australia. So they're coming back anyway. Very rarely would we turn them around and send them home, because you turn them around, once you lose sight, guess what they're doing?
They turn it back around.
They're looking at the stars and they're going, oh, fuck, we'll just turn this thing around. And their navigation is epic. They'll just have a little handheld compass, all the stars, and away they go. They'll navigate the ocean straight to Australia.
Yeah, right.
Whereas you got a fucking multi-million-dollar fucking Navy ship, they'll fucking get lost all the time. Like, how'd you hit the reef, mate? Like, you've got this sat nav that can tell you where to go, and you still crashed into that reef? Come on, bro.
Charter boat? What charter boat?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this bloke over here's got a compass and the stars. Like, figure it out.
Pulls out a screwdriver and you've all got guts. He's like, oh no, I just fixed it.
yeah, mate. Like, sometimes technology does you a disservice, I think.
Where'd you were you like basically shore posted and you would go out on small trips?
No, once we left Sydney, you were living on the boat. So in and out of Cairns, we'd spend sort of 3 or 4 days, sort of a bit of R&R, aka get on the piss, load up with food and fuel, and away we'd go for another. I think our endurance was about, I don't know, 10 days, maybe 14 days. It wasn't long.
Okay.
But whether you're in port or not, obviously at sea you're sleeping on the boat. In port you're sleeping on the boat. That's your home until you get back to Sydney, basically.
You just get leave passes to go out and get rowdy in the town.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Come back and someone spewed all over your mess because they've fucking come back off a piss and just couldn't hold it in. So when you're living in like 6 dudes in what probably is half of a conventional bedroom, and someone spewed through most of that, mate, there's some testing times in there, I tell you. Some fists fly now and then. One of my best mates now who I met on there, I was on the top bunk because I was a new kid, and they're known as the shittest bed because you got to climb up there. So I got put up there. He was down the bottom because he was sort of a bit more of an old salt. I'd leave my boots by the bed and had pretty bad feet at the time. So I'd wake up and my boots would, fuck, where are they gone? Couldn't figure it out for weeks until he had a blow up at me and fist nearly came flying because he kept throwing them all over the ship. Every morning I'd be like, who the fuck? And why? What have I done to upset this person? Whoever this person is. Till one day he's like, look, mate, just fucking don't leave them by my head. Put them wherever you want. I just had no idea. I was completely oblivious to it.
He couldn't fucking tell you first.
No, and then we actually moved in and lived together for 4 or 5 years not long after that. So I can't have been too bad.
Where'd you go after that?
Then I went to Team 1, so HMAS Waterhen, Australian Clearance Diving Team 1, which is, I guess it's kind of like what's known as the, I guess, premier posting for divers. Like, that's where you want to go, because generally that's where most of the jobs come out of. If there's something going on, they'll always go to the dive teams first. And
so that's Sydney?
It is Sydney, yeah. So HMAS Waterhen. So, yeah, down North Sydney. Yeah, and that was, again, a very formative time. A lot of things happened there. That was a lot of jobs. I think very early on we went over to Tonga because the Tongan ferry personnel and vehicle ferry sunk, and sort of 120 odd people. The numbers aren't going to be on. My memory's pretty average with that stuff, but all went down with the ship. So there was we got called up to go and do a body recovery there. I think fortunately, and it's a bit of a scar for me that we couldn't do anything. But fortunately, due to the scars that would have happened, i.e. recovering that many people that had been passed away and been underwater for that long, would have been pretty. So they were too deep, so we ended up leaving them there. But it was a cool 2 weeks in Tonga just hanging out and like getting geared up for this job that once you go out and do your first dive as a recce, you realise, it's not happening. So yeah, it was a good experience to realise how things can get spun up so quickly. It sort of happened in our night time. And then the next day we were on a plane from Richmond flying out, fully booted and spurred, ready to go. So that was cool. Not long after that, Paul de Gelder got his arm and leg chopped off in Sydney Harbour. So that was a fairly big incident for us. Fortunately, again, I wasn't.
Mate of yours?
Yeah, we were pretty good mates. He was dive course before me at Penguin, so we all sort of mingle in, and obviously we're living on base, so you become pretty good mates and get to know each other pretty well. And then we were working together in the MCM element when he was attacked. So fortunately I wasn't there for that experience, but The job that we're doing, I was due to take over, so it was a little bit too close for comfort for me, and the boys that were there had some pretty serious impacts on them for probably to this day, realistically. But those dudes are like, you look at them, they're fucking heroes. They saved the dude's life. Like there's no way that he should be still cruising around and alive.
Diving with sharks.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Like, yeah, where's the pun in that? Like, come on, mate. You get your arm and leg ripped off.
Guess what he does now?
Yeah, and now you're doing Shark Week on what is it? Discovery Channel. Like, but what a legend. Like,
yeah, fucking hell. Talk about getting back on the horse.
Yeah, mate. Like, recovered, came back to work, was instructing. So pretty intimidating for particularly a ship's diver, a clearance diving course to roll through. Well, like, what do you want to be, mate? I'm like, I want to be a diver. You're like, see that dude over there that's instructing? Go shake his hand. Like, what do you mean? And he's got this fucking robotic hand. And, where'd that go? Oh, shark just down the road took it. Yeah, man. So, yeah, absolute weapon.
So walking into Afghan when there's a fucking ram ceremony or something, it's like,
mate,
makes it real.
Oh, 100%. Like, those things are, you learn pretty quickly that you're not in Kansas anymore. Yeah, and we'll get to that because some of those things I was quite naive to go, well, I know bad shit happens in those places, but you always think, it'll never happen to me type thing. There's a little bit of whether it's a superiority complex or whatever that is, or just fucking blind hope.
It's just human nature.
Yeah. And then when it does, like, shit, this gets real pretty quick, doesn't it? Yeah, and that was one, and fuck, I've got tattoos all over me with sharks. Like, I've had a shark issue before that. I mean, Paul used to joke about it. He fucking hated sharks. We'd laugh about him, and there'd be a night dive. We'd look at each other, like, how you going? He's like, fuck this. Why did we choose this job? You jump in, you're like, good, yeah, fuck, sweet, all good. And then one day he fucking gets an arm and leg deleted. So it is, yeah, there's a bit of humour to it.
What sort of shark was it? Bull shark?
Yeah, bull shark, yeah. And as we know now, and as the harbour gets more healthy and the world sort of, I wouldn't say it's improving rapidly, but the harbour's definitely more healthy. So there's a lot more sharks getting in there and a lot more sea life too. It's not uncommon to get a whale cruising through there now and then. And
shit.
Yeah, man. So once you start getting whales in, then you look at, and even great whites pushing up that far and further up. So there's all sorts of shit going on in there. It's not uncommon for the guys to even, still to this day I hear from a lot of them. They're like, bit of a close call. We've got these underwater sonars used to search for mines, but it's not, it's happened quite a few times where I get sent a picture and you got those range scales and there's a big moving object through there. So
what's the SOPs if you fucking come into contact with them?
Fucking shit yourself and stay still, I think. Yeah, there's literally
punch it in the nose.
Yeah, man. It might have changed. My time's long gone now, but I didn't have the experience, but the boys like, right, I just stay there, track it. Once it's out, shoot to the surface and get the fuck out of there, basically. Or hide behind whatever's close. If you're doing a wharf search or something, get behind a pylon and just give it a cuddle. Yeah. So I mean, there's heaps of safety nets involved now with SOPs as far as when they dive and dawn and dusk and all this sort of bullshit. Don't go near estuaries and fishing zones and all that sort of stuff. But mate, it's luck of the draw.
Yeah,
it's the same as crossing the road. You can't put an SOP in when's the safest time to cross the road. Like, doesn't matter. You walk out the front door, you're taking a risk. You get in the water, you're taking a risk. It's the same. That's the job profile.
Yeah, 100%.
So sometimes you just you have to acknowledge it.
So how far through were you when that went down? Or you walked in there when? No, you knew him before he got attacked.
Yeah. So I was again, the years. What that would have been 2008, I think, give or take. So that was 3 years in. So I've been around a little bit, but that was again that time when I was at the dive team. So it's very much it's a steep learning curve once you get there because you're expected to be an expert on all. And I'd had a bit of skill. The skills that had perished being on the ship. The ship is very specific. There's a very small job role, whereas you go to the dive team, you're expected to be back on board with everything, whether it's underwater salvage, welding, weapons, EOD, MCM, tactical swimming, like you've got the whole gamut. So again, that was a very steep learning curve for me to get back there and go, all right, get your head back in the game. So yeah, while I say I'd been around for a little bit, I was still very junior, very inexperienced and was treated accordingly and deservedly because I had to pull my socks up and get back on board. So, when Paul got attacked, it was back to work as normal the next day. I mean, the next day for me, the news stations and stuff got hold of that and wanted basically wanted some footage from it, which obviously there wasn't. So I was set in the water to reenact this fucking shark attack.
Oh, really?
Mate. Like I said, I already had a few issues with the big grey man in the ocean. But to then get in and reenact that was really bad karma for me.
You start thrashing around?
Pretty much, yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, mate, it was not good. Just off of water.
Your mate's just fucking almost died and you have to... Oh, fuck.
Mate, and it took me a long time to make peace with that, as in that bad karma piece. And like, he's fucking in hospital. We thought was probably going to die.
Yeah.
They're like, in
comical fucking reenactment.
Go and get this news story. That'll be really good. Funny, like only recently I was putting something together and I was like, oh, I wonder if that's still getting around. It's still on YouTube sitting there. I'm like,
still is.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And
I'll flash it up, mate.
Oh yeah, cheers. That'd be really good. Yeah, no, it's kind of a funny memory now for me, but
yeah, I guess it's pretty comical in hindsight. But
yeah, that's right. Yeah, and there was, after that, I did a dive in Jervis Bay for a workup to make sure that, like a URE, unit readiness evaluation, where we all go through and get tested on all the different skills that a dive team could do. And we're down in Jervis Bay and we're doing a night dive, mine countermeasures, so going down and finding sea mines and prosecuting. And I was in the Zod as the primary diver. And again, this one would normally bring emotion out with me, which is good because I've sort of worked through that and passed it. But sitting in the boat, getting dressed, and the supervisor comes over to check me and make sure my dive set's right and all that sort of shit. And I was literally frozen solid. And again, there's that a saying again that they're bullshit sayings. No, this was true. I was there and I fucking couldn't do anything. He's like, you're right. I'm like, I don't think I'm good. He's like, well, I'll get in. I'm like, I don't think I can. And again, being a young bloke, fairly like you're building your reputation, that's not very good for your reputation to say, oh, I can't get in the water and I can't do my job. Fortunately at the time, the supervisor was like, all right, fucking get changed. We'll put old mate in. And again, it was one of the newer dudes. He's like, yeah, I'll get in and do it. So I had to sit there and watch this dude get in and go, if something bad goes down here, that's fucking my fault. And that was even worse. I was like, fuck, put me in, get me chomped in half. That's cool. Don't let something now happen to him. So yeah, really, good, like I said earlier, good learning experience for me to then go, all right, it doesn't matter. If there's a job that you have to do, then you fucking do it. Yeah. Because if it goes down at someone else, then you've got to live with that.
Yeah, which is even worse.
Mate, so much worse. And that was a really good lesson for me to learn early on in my military career and put me in a good place, I think, for the rest of it. And a good lesson, hopefully, for others to go, hey, sometimes we sign on the dotted line to take these responsibilities. Get in and do your fucking job.
Yeah.
There is no excuses. And I, again, like I said, learned that pretty quickly.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, massive experience down there, eh?
Yeah, fun. All good fun in hindsight, but some challenging ones at the time.
Did you just go and fucking give yourself some therapy at the bar?
Not there. I gave myself a lot of therapy at the bar. Like that became very much a coping mechanism for me. Very common, but very unhealthy. And I took those things to.
Was there much of that culture in the dive team? I know the rest of the pus was just a conglomerate of raging alcoholics.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, there definitely was. Like exactly like you said, it's a culture. And I learnt that and got, I guess, taught that culture and continued to pass that on to others, which, right or wrong, that's just the way it was. And
look, you're ostracised if you're not part of it.
Yeah, that's right. And you can't say that it's any better now, to be honest. Like people, and drinking culture in Australia is changing, and it is in the military and the Navy, but it's still there to a degree. But I definitely pushed that sort of behaviour to a fairly solid extreme through most of my career. Like I would go and do jobs and deployments, and through those deployments, I'm like, sweet, I know that I can get through this and just rip the fucking pressure cooker off and rip in on the weekend. So you really build it. I would build things up, and then that's the way that I would just undo and let it go. And it worked for me.
What were you like on the piss? Were you larrikin or get violent and stuff?
No, not at all. No, I was never really violent. Never. Look, I was just there for a good time. Like, I think if anyone was to describe me, they'd just say, no, he was just out having a good time. Like, very rarely. I'm happy. I wouldn't say I'm happy. I can be violent if you need to, but it's not something that I would. Not something.
I'm happy to be violent.
Yeah, no, it's not something that I would go out and seek, nor necessarily get much enjoyment from. But if it's there and it's necessary, then I will fucking do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Very similar to sort of the work environment. But generally, no, I'm just there to fucking have a good time and definitely some questionable behaviour in there, and but it's all in good fun. Yeah, a bit of nudity, a bit of I don't know. I did get locked up once upon a time for urinating in the wrong place. So all that sort of look, it's just harmless shit, really. That I would say everyone would do, but I'd say I'd pair that back to most people in the military would sort of look at it and go, that's harmless shit. The civilian population at times look at the military population and go, geez, you guys push it a bit harder, don't you?
Give it a nudge.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So
do you have any hazing fucking stuff in there?
Yeah, definitely. And even like on dive course, like the physical hazing and that sort of what we'd call punishment or corrective training, that sort of stuff. Like you look at it as hazing. It was, but we almost yearned for that. We chose a job profile. We knew the rumours and the reputation, that sort of stuff. So you cop that on the chin. When you're getting fucking fire hoses and stuff put on your Speedos and turned on, like there's a few lines and limits that got crossed, but it is what it is. I mean, I wouldn't say that I was necessarily abused, but some people hear that stuff and go, what do you mean? It's fucking fire hose in your Speedos, mate. Like, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is what it is. And then crossing line ceremonies and stuff, you get a bit of a touch up there. But again, it's all in good fun a lot of the times. There's no malice behind it. I mean, sometimes there is, and it's been well publicised, some of it. But for me, like I got a pretty good flogging, got fed fucking rotten food poured down me and down my throat and all over me and bashed with rolled up newspapers and stuff. Nothing hard, but you definitely felt it and you knew you were there. But these are the same guys that I was sleeping next to as well. So
yeah.
For me and my experience, like you go back and laugh and have a bit of fun with it. And they're like, yeah, we got you pretty good, didn't we? And you're like, oh yeah, you fucking did. Righto. Next time, let's get the next bloke because I want to be on that side of the line.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, it was all good, but I can see how some people would be challenged by that sort of stuff. I mean, you grow up as a boy and pretty rough and tumble. Some people don't have those experiences. So when I'm getting bashed by a rolled up newspaper, you're like, wow, this is a bit of fun.
Yeah, one of my good mates got a flogging and got hogtied and fucking belted and he fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Like he talked about it with the fondest memories.
Yeah, mate.
But then, but I think sort of moving into that like choice now, like if you want that, fucking you can still get it.
Oh, yeah.
But if you don't, like you can sit to the side.
Yeah, that's right.
Watch,
I did crossing the line in 2016-17 on HMAS Arunta. And that was a very different experience to what it was on HMAS Gascoigne. Like very, you can be in or you can just sit back and observe and like a very softly approach, which look, it's good, but people want those experiences. They want to have a bit of fun and get involved. I mean, you don't have to go and do some of the other stuff that's been done, but go and enjoy it. It's a different environment. Like the Navy and the Defence Force is a really cool job. Like keep those traditional things in there, that cultural thing. Just pare it back and don't go abusing people, but have some fun with it.
Yeah.
Be adults about it.
Yeah. Crossing the line's an apt name, I guess. You don't want to cross the line, but fucking
exactly right.
Give it a nudge. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. No, it's all fun experiences for me.
Yeah. And then over to Afghan after that, was it?
Yeah, so like some years passed in between. To be honest, and my memory.
How long were you in for?
18.5 years.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, man. So 2005 to, 2022? Does that work out to 18.5? Somewhere in there. But yeah, so it was a good stint. Would have loved probably to do the 20, but at the end of the day, what do the numbers mean? It means fuck all. Like I enjoyed my career, but by the end, I sort of put my hand up and I was like, oh, this is breaking, if not broken me. So it's time for me to go. So if I'd pushed for that grand number of 20, would that have made me feel any better or worse or led me to an early grave? Who knows? Because that's definitely the way I was heading.
Yeah.
So yeah, then Couple of postings. So after dive team, went to dive school for a little while. Just worked as an assistant instructor. It's pretty low key there. As an assistant instructor, you're really just maintaining gear and prepping students for their instruction and that sort of stuff. So
as a Kellic,
I was an AB at the time. Yeah. So I was spent 6 or 7 years as an AB, which is back then was about the normal, but you look at it now, that's a fairly long stint realistically. And then the Afghan sort of campaign had been going and bubbling away, and we'd been sending guys for a while to supplement the EOD teams, and they would send Kellics, petty officers and chiefs, and I was an AB. So I was really angling. I put myself in the EOD element as an assistant instructor to sort of get some pretty background and base level knowledge and build that. Started assisting and training for the guys that were going to Afghan, and sort of just angling my way to get a trip. And again, everyone's like, mate, you're an AB, so don't even think about it. It's not going to happen. And we got to the point where a few Kellics had gone. There's probably 4 or 5 rotations, I guess. And they just couldn't find any more Kellics. They just didn't want to go due to family or intimidated by a theatre of war, or they were on a course, or they were just no one there. No one wanted it. I was in the background. I'm like, oh yeah, I want it. Fucking send me. Let's go. And went through a few renditions of that, and them just going, mate, you're fucking dreaming, don't worry about it, until all of a sudden I'm the last man in the room. I'm like, yeah, fuck, righto. Well, now we've got to consider you because no one else wants it. And we had an Army warrant officer, an American Army warrant officer, SEAL, EOD dude, in as a exchange. So I sort of got under his arm and said, righto, train me up, like get me to a level where I'm good to go. Because if there's any way for me to go, I need to be better than these dudes. And he backdoored me onto an Army EOR course, an explosive ordnance reconnaissance course. Got the qualification that I needed, but still didn't hold the rank. And got to the point where they're like, fuck, you're the man. You got to go. We can't fill the spots. So jagged that and was the only AB ever to do that, which was cool. Nice. Only AB to see combat in Afghanistan. So nice little title, whether it's worth anything to me or not. It sits well with me. Like, it goes to say, fucking, who cares what they say? They say no, just go and make it happen.
Yeah.
And that was my approach. Like, maybe I went, maybe I didn't. But either way, I was going to put myself in the best possible position to get that trip. Because for me, I joined the Navy for a reason. I joined the Navy in that role for a reason. So let's fucking go and get it.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit around at home and live the happy, good life because I've got stuff to do. And yeah, got lucky, found myself in Brizzy at 20 AD Squadron, and on the next trip, which again, very intimidating because I was still at the time only an AB, upskilled, yes, but that experience in the EOD world still limited compared to these guys that were coming back, multiple rotations. I made a really good mate on that EOR course, Scotty Smith, who then passed while I was in Afghan. I'd be looking at him and the guys that I was with, and they're fucking Jedis, mate. Like, you look at an ID or an EOD situation, they're like, oh, yeah, you fucking walk down there, just pull it. Yeah, it's this, it's probably that. I'm like, I don't know what those words mean. Like, I get that you're telling me something, but you're going to have to dumb it down. They're like, oh, it's a projectile just down there. I'm like, no, mate, that looks like a fucking Coke bottle to me. I don't know what you're talking about. So super intimidating. And then to roll into an EOD squadron where everyone is a Jedi at it. You're that Navy kid in a fully Army unit. Like, geez, you better pull your socks up and learn pretty quick, champ. Unfortunately, I did and could learn at a reasonably rapid rate for that. And yeah, found myself in Afghan in, June 2012.
Yeah. It was popping off.
It was, yeah, definitely popping off.
Were you working with engineers or?
Yeah, so I was solely engineers, supplemented by, I think we had 5 clearance divers in what was probably a 22-man unit or team. So that consisted of 3 5-man teams spotted around Tarankout, and then a command element back in the main base at TK, and we're all out at forward operating bases. So I was the only Navy guy in my team. Didn't matter, like, I was in green, we're all the same. The only difference was I had a beard. So that's right. That definitely upset a few people, but worked out pretty good for my team. Obviously in the Army, only sort of the SF dudes can grow beards. So I was an AB, my team leader was a warrant officer. he'd go and ask someone for something. They'd be like, fuck off, mate. You can't have that. He's like, oi, just take your rank off. Walk over there and ask them for it. They'll probably give it to you. Walk in and go. They're like, yeah, mate, here you go. Off you go. So just funny, man.
Just assume you're SF.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and just roll around and do whatever I want a lot of the time. People would just look at me and wave and smile. I'm like, sweet. And then they'd look at my rank if and when I was wearing rank, and they'd try and salute me because army people don't understand our rank systems. All this shit, it was it, mate. I had a great time just pulling the piss out of people.
Fucking beard down, fucking shirt off.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Comes out.
Taking advantage of wherever I can. Like, fuck, we ate well, I tell you, because I'd roll into messes or fucking stores and ask stuff. They're like, are you supposed to be here? I'm like, yeah, man. Got sent down here to get this. Fuck, how much do you want? Let's go, boys. So, good time. I mean, there was some fun times in that trip, but fuck, it was pretty hairy, some of it as well.
Who were you attached to?
Jesus, that's a good question. I think we had it as, I think the main battle group was 6 RAR at the time. But again, me and Tab Data and that sort of stuff, I'm no good with those sort of
Do you remember the boys you were with, the engineers?
Oh, yeah, engineers. So, yeah, my team, we had Marvin Pearcey as TL and 2IC, then Goody was my sort of offsiders. There was 2 EORs, and that was my team. And then we had a couple of different drivers and crewies. They changed that a couple of times due to whatever. One had a UD and shot the wall while he was cleaning his weapons, so he got marched back. When we got blown up, another one blew his back out. So, yeah, went through a few different renditions of drivers and crewies. And then we had, obviously, the search teams and stuff, and I don't remember too many of them. Remember them at face value, but names and stuff I'm no good with.
Mm. What trip was that? Was that 2003, was it?
2012 we were there. What rotation it was, what is it, mentoring and reconstruction task force, or MRTF, I think we were. Yeah, but again, fucked if I can remember the numbers. Those details to me, like, I've never been good with it. Like, you do your exams through stuff, they're like, oh, what's the rate of fire of this fucking machine gun? I'm like, fucked if I know. Does it really?
Pretty fast.
Yeah, like faster than what that dude's is. That's all that matters. Like, yeah, like never been good with it. Never really cared about them. Like, if I can use it effectively, then that's probably what matters. If I know how many rounds are in that magazine, I can count them and know when to change my magazine. That's good. How quickly they come out of the end of it, don't care, man.
Fucking tab data.
Yeah, man.
It's like dudes that ride motorbikes and know every fucking bit about the engine.
Yeah, man.
And then you ride a motorbike, so they're like, oh yeah, fucking this and this. And you're like, mate, if it's broken, I'll take it to the fucking mechanic.
Yeah, that's right. Like, if you're super competent at the practical application of that tool, whether that's a weapon or a motorbike or a fucking screwdriver, then you're probably good. How many turns you have to do on the screwdriver probably doesn't matter. I've always struggled with that shit. What sort of fucking madness happened over there? Mate, a lot. For what's a 5.5, 6 month trip, like I said before, I wasn't naive enough to think that bad stuff wasn't going to happen. I just didn't realise what the outcome and what those experiences were going to be like. I think, and again, these memories are even getting a bit faint for me too. It was our first patrol, which is called a nursery patrol. So you get the guys that have been there for their 6 month tour period. They'll take you out. So you roll into the forward operating base or FOB, and they'll take you out for a look around, give you a bit of a lay of the land. Righto, this is how we worked. This is how our patrol worked. These are our SOPs. This is what the common trends are, like for us, IED trends and what they're using in the area. So just be aware of that. We've noticed a change from whether it's sort of an RC or a remote control IED threat to a victim operated or a pressure plate type thing. So I went out for that, just cruising along, very, again, eyes wide open for me. I'm now this fucking AB sitting in the back of a truck on a machine gun cruising around Afghanistan. I was like, how the fuck did I get here? But let's go. This is sick. Like really enjoying myself, but I don't think overwhelmed's the right word, just enjoying it. Cruising into this Afghan police checkpoint. Afghan police or Afghan? No, it was an Afghan army checkpoint. Cruising in there, and there's a bit of a gunfight going down in the green zone, and we're sort of just separated from that in the desert, cruising through. There's a gunfight going on between the local Afghan army and Taliban. Like, again, for me, I was like, fucking hell. These blokes down there are shooting at each other. And I could hear the chatter on the radio because I was on the gun and the headset. And I'm just waiting for someone to say, right, I rip in. Everyone's cruisy and casual about it. I'm like, fucking these folks down there are shooting each other. Should I be shooting? Like, what the fuck's going on? Like, such a weird environment to be in, yeah. And again, you learn pretty quickly. You're like, we're far enough away. We're not involved. Just let them have it and go and do their thing. So we cruised into this compound. Again, got to know like how things work with the Afghan army and that they're all, or not all, but a lot of them are just fucking heroin junkies and fucking pedophiles and fairly confronting to go, all right, these are the blokes we're working with and there's just fucking needles all over the place and they're walking young boys into their little rooms and chai boy fucking Tuesdays and all sorts, mate. Like, again, eye-opener. You hear the things and then when you see it, you're like, fuck, those stories were actually on point. You're like, because often you hear stories like, oh, you're hamming it up. It can't be that bad. Like, that doesn't happen. You're like, oh, yeah, no, that shit does happen. Righto. All right, well, that's normal over here, so I've got to make peace with it and just crack on. It can't change can change my thoughts and opinions of them, but I've still got a job to do. So go and get back and get your head in the job. Yeah. We were sitting on Hesco barrier, which is, I guess, imagine a big 1 metre by 1 metre sandbag they use to sort of put barriers around the bases. And during that sort of drive in when there was the tick going on, there was a few like machine gun fire. Everyone knows what that sounds like. And there's a couple of distinct shots in there, which hindsight says, yeah, righto, that was a sniper. But I didn't realise at the time until we got in there and had a fucking round whiz straight between me and Goody, my oppo's head, which, like you talk about close calls, that was probably the closest. Having a sniper round go probably, I don't know, 10 or 15 centimetres from your head and your mate's head. Like, that sniper would have been filthy that he missed. Like, I would be, if that was me up in his little cave, I would have been fucking not happy because he had a few shots during the day that would land outside. You hear it crack off and a thud on a wall or something. And everyone was casual about it, so I was just casual about it. I was like, what? Again, this must be normal. Until it fucking nearly wasn't normal. So we went back and reported it to the command element. They're like, yeah, we know. Like, yeah, well, he's getting close now. Like, righto. So our sniper dudes had a bit of a dig, and because he was sat up in he had a really good hide up there and elevated position. So our guys just couldn't get the range, they actually couldn't find him to start with. So then our mortar guys tried to drop some mortars around the area and again, couldn't get the range with it being elevated. I'm like, all right, well, we'll see what we can do. Called in some fast air, a couple of jets, and dropped two 500-pound bombs on their position, and it went pretty silent after that. So it's, I mean, the might of what I would assume was probably US jets, could have been Australia, but the might of the US military just flying through and like one, maybe a sniper pair, who knows, but to get a fucking $1 billion jet dropping some epic ordnance on these two little dudes that are tucked away in a cave, like that just spells out the Afghan war, doesn't it? Like the billions and trillions of dollars for these dudes that are just with no shoes in a cave, just having pot shots. Yeah. Like it was, that was a really interesting experience. And definitely, I guess, drove home. That's the, oh, fuck moment of, oh, this is real. I can just be sitting around having a brew and nearly get slotted. Like inside a base. And as we know, that happened quite a few times. And again, on that trip, we had a couple of insider green on blues. So that's, that became a thing really quickly for us, every base that we'd go into. And even...
They make you real fucking side-eyeing all the Afghans on... in Terps, recon Terps and stuff.
Yeah. We even like we'd do pickets at night. We'd go off and sit on whatever weapon they'd have, a 50 cal or a Maximum or something, and then we'd have a picket. But the Afghans would also have their picket, so you'd be up in there together. And you're sitting there like the dark hours, and you're tired, and you really start questioning these dudes. Like you're like, okay, can you smell weed? I'm like, yeah, bro, that's weed. Like, so they're fucking high as fuck up there with their AK or whatever they're rolling with. You're like, oh, Jesus. These guys have just smoked 4, 5 of our blokes in another base, and you got to sit there and deal with that. You're really side-eyeing. Like, your picket is more...
Watching them
than watching the outside threat, 100%. Like, someone's probably digging an IED down in the road that you're supposed to be watching, but you're too busy concentrating on the dude next to you because they just can't be trusted. And the way that it worked, you weren't able to build any rapport with them because you'd spend a week or a day or whatever, and then they'd fuck off, and you'd get a new crew in, and you just never get to build that relationship with these guys. And it's not to say they're all bad, but some of them are. So you have to, unfortunately, tarnish them all with the same brush. Like that's the way it goes, because you got to look after yourself, right? And your oppo that you're there with. So
there's no way to know, right?
Yeah, that's right. Like the night before we got blown up was when we had a green on blue. So that happened in, I can't remember again details, happened in one of the other fobs. In our fob, we got comms through and the radio came through, righto, this has happened. We had to go and take the weapons off of all the Afghan army guys in our compound. So they're blowing up because it shows that we don't trust them, which we don't, but we don't want to say that, obviously. So we take all the weapons off. So then not only do they feel like they're not being trusted, but their ability to defend themselves has been taken away too. So they're obviously a target for the Taliban. So they feel very threatened now because they're like, fuck, we're in here. These guys are taking our weapon. They're leaving us in this building. We don't know why. How's that work for a relationship?
Everybody's against us. Yeah.
So the next morning we're like, quick, give them back their weapons and let's go. And then we rolled out and got blown up. So look, you could speculate on all sorts of different ways whether
How'd you get blown up? OAD.
Yeah. In what was the most random place, and like, if I was someone in placing an IED, I don't even know why they would have put it there. I don't think it was to target us. It was probably to target the Afghan army guys in their compound. We just got unlucky. So we rolled out of that base, let's say 7-ish in the morning, relatively early. Could have been a bit earlier. And within 400 or 500 meters of that base, the first vehicle went through, so the engineer vehicle, which is the lead searchers, and they just cruised through. We cruised through the same road, maybe slightly outside their wheel tracks. We don't know what sort of IED it was. It was completely consumed in the blast. So if it was a pressure plate, we would have slightly gone outside their wheel tracks, and that's what caused it. If it was remote, then they targeted us as the second vehicle. So yeah, cruised down not far from the base, and everything went black, which is it's a pretty good alarm clock, I tell you that much. Cruising, and Bushmasters, the way they're designed, there's very little light that comes in. So there's fuck all windows. You've got a tiny little, probably 10 centimetre by 10 centimetre window at the back, and then you got your windscreen and the front windows. Yeah. So not much light comes in, and then when you get blown up and the dust totally consumes the vehicle, it literally was complete blackout. So that was, that was for me. My immediate thought was, I'm dead. Like this is death, which is a really funny feeling, to be conscious but unconscious, or feel like you're unconscious, like not know that mental state that you're in.
Because your eyes are open, but it's just blackness.
Fucking pitch black, mate. Like, it's darker than your eyes being closed. Yeah. And obviously the noise, so your ears are ringing. You're like, so you got that. I don't know. I don't know the time scale, whether it was seconds, like 2 seconds or 15 seconds, or but it wouldn't have been a massive time. Like, fuck, righto. Where am I? What am I? Who am I? Like, where am I? As in, am I in the living or am I in the dead? Like, what the fuck place am I in? Until you sort of realise and you start, okay, yeah, there's a bit of light coming through. There's some movement from the other dudes, because you're packed in pretty close. So you feel that movement. You're like, righto, yep, all right, Piercy's there. Goody. Oh, yep, he was up in the rear gun. So this fucking poor dude has just had his bell rung really well, because he's hanging out on the machine gun. So, yep, sort of grabbing at him. He comes down, and you have like snowboarding goggles, right, for the dust when you're out the gun. And they're like blacked out because of the sun, so you need them pretty heavily tinted. And this motherfucker's eyes, like, you talk about being able to see eyes through sunnies and that sort of stuff, like the whites of eyes, man, like, I laugh about it to this day. His eyes came down and you could see them perfectly, which is quite a funny memory from that experience. So yeah, really, fuck, you can't pay for those experiences. I wouldn't change it, although it left some pretty deep demons for quite a while. When I talked about Scotty Smith earlier, like, he was doing a very similar job, but in an SF role, so also very, very different. And look, he was doing high-end EOR, EOD work, like very different to what I was doing. But for me to get blown up and for him to be the best on the course that I did, and now the Dux Award is the Scott Smith Dux Award,
Oh, yeah, nice.
So for him to get blown up and killed, I'm like, fuck, if the best dude got killed, why aren't I? Like, how? There's a little bit of that, fuck, whatever it is. Yeah, why not me type thing.
Yeah.
Survivor's guilt, I guess. I don't like to, like, it's a little bit, I don't know, it doesn't sit well with me, but it is what it is. I'm still here. And
You guys all fucking come out of it all right?
yeah, so the two dudes in the front, they got some pretty bad spinal injuries. They got medevaced out pretty quickly. So the four of us in the back, we were all good in terms of we could continue with the day and the deployment and whatever else, but there was definitely some injuries that came out of it that were sort of hidden. I got some back surgery probably only, 2 or 3 years later after that.
Yeah.
2 or 3 years ago. So I sort of hid that for most of my career because I just wasn't ready to give the career up.
Yeah.
So yeah, generally like pretty well. No major injuries other than the two dudes in the front. They were struggling to walk and a bird came and got them. So yeah, there's.
What was the aftermath? You all get rushed to hospital?
No, those boys did. So they straight to a bird and back to TK, and I think they ended up going home fairly quickly. For the four in the back, we got back to that same Afghan army compound that we just taken all their weapons from. Our vehicle obviously was completely fucked, so it got dragged back there, and then a helo came, hooked that up and flew that back. And we got left in that compound with our patrol for, I think it was 2 days before we went back and had med screening and psych screening and stuff. So
Yeah, right.
it was a fairly interesting place to sit there. And I mean, as we know from history, like that psych screening stuff is generally bullshit. And the people that they ask, whether they're right or the wrong questions, they ask questions and we give like predetermined answers. How you going, mate? Yeah, I'm good. Okay, well, is there you having any dreams or flashbacks, or are you nervous about this? No, I'm good. You sure? Yeah. Get me out. I just need to go out and do some work. Okay, mate, sign it off. Off you go.
Yeah. You're not going to say what's going to get you pulled out.
Exactly right, mate. And for most people, and definitely for me, like I was there and I wasn't going to leave the boys. I wasn't going to walk away and feel like a coward. All of those sort of things, which whether they're the right things or the wrong things to feel, like hindsight's a good thing. If people can't deal with it, then you can't deal with it. Like you need that sort of stuff unpacked. And I paid that price later on. But would I have changed my decision? Probably not. I would have just realised that when I came back, I needed to unpack it rather than doing it right there and then.
Yeah. Did it get more and more hairy, or that was kind of the...
Look, they were the two big ones. I mean, just after that, my son Steele was born, so pretty interesting experience knowing that you've just nearly had your head fucking chopped off by a sniper and been blown up, and then you got to sit there and listen to the birth of your son. So some fucking emotions were rolling around in the body and the head, I tell you.
Make you feel like you needed to be more careful to get home to him?
Not really, to be honest. Like I had no real paternal connection to what was going on back at home because I'd missed most of the pregnancy with workups and deployment and that sort of stuff. So
yeah,
the birth was cool to listen to, but it was very foreign to me to understand what was happening because I hadn't had that time. I was fully focused on, right, you're going to a war zone. You got to sort your shit out. You got to become competent. You got to do this, this, and this, and this. Beck, my partner at the time, she was fucking squared away. She had him sorted. Like she was good with the pregnancy. She did that all. It gave me the ability to just go, all right, you've got that in house. I'll go and make sure I'm going to be good. And even to the point of coming back and landing in Brizzy Airport, and she came over and flinged me this fucking kid, which at the time could have been a footy. Like that was the relationship I had. I was like, thanks for this thing. I don't know what to do with it. I don't have any necessarily feelings for it. It's a hard thing to say, particularly knowing my relationship.
Well, you didn't do anything different, right? You just had sex with your girlfriend, which is what you always do.
Exactly,
mate.
Off, yeah. That's right. Yeah, and then you get this present 9 months later for me 12 months later. Like he was nearly 3 months old when I first held him.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like that relationship and that paternal instinct kicked in very quickly. And now, if anyone sees us, like we're fucking chalk and cheese. Sorry, not chalk and cheese. We are. In some ways, we definitely are. But we're best mates. And, yeah, that didn't take long. But really weird experience to come back to this fucking little footy being thrown at you and go, all right, well, catch, you can have him back. Fucking nappies and all that sort of shit. Send me back to Afghan. Like, I don't deal well with changing nappies, I tell you. Yeah, man.
Why do they have Navy in the fucking search teams at all?
So the army, because, I mean, Afghan was supposed to go for, 48 hours or something and be finished, and we were going to go and take the country, and Osama bin Laden, the Taliban, were going to be toppled. But history shows that we really overestimated that, and the army just couldn't keep up with supplementing these people, especially in the roles of the EOD world, like high stress. When things go bad, they go bad really, really badly. So they just couldn't keep the people in. So they reached out to Navy and Air Force to say, hey, have you got guys that have a skill set that can come and supplement our EOD guys? And obviously our role as a clearance diver is munitions underwater. So take the water away and it's basically the same. Army guys won't like to hear this, but I'd say it's easier on land. Feel free to message me, lads. It's and I don't get me wrong, it's a fucked job, and the stress involved in it. Some people make peace with it. I'm the sort of dude that I don't want to die. I really like life, so I find it not stressful, but there's definitely a point where you have to go, all right, I got to go and do this. So put all that other shit out of your mind and just be very clear on what you're about to go and do. Yeah. I think that's a good lesson from most things in life. Be very present in what you're doing. Yeah. So that's why the army just couldn't keep up with the demand of people. So Air Force have, I think they're called, I'd be making it up, but they got their own EOD dudes that work with the jet munitions and bombs and that sort of stuff. So they came in. So we had basically a tri-service environment, which was cool. Fun working with RAFIs, because we all know that RAFIs are sort of the bus drivers of the military. They don't mind their air conditioning and their soft, cushy chairs. Again, boys, let me know about that one. I'm sure you'll enjoy that. Yeah, exactly right, mate. But no, don't get me wrong. They were all fucking. It was such a cool little environment that you can bring guys out of their normal job profile and stick them all together, and we got the job done. It was really fun, and like I said, I'd never change that shit for anything. Nice.
Yeah, it does sound like a extremely high stress job, just in general. Yeah. Is it fucking lead to a lot of mental health injuries and just being in that fucking peak fight or flight for a lot of your career and stuff?
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened to me for my career, and you hit the nail on the head there. That I got that lesson taught to me, not intentionally, but I learnt that lesson through that campaign and that deployment, and I learnt that I can operate at a really high level and I can get these things done. And that continued, but there was no decompression for me until I started getting on the piss and those sort of things, and found some really negative ways of doing it. But I would always throw myself into whatever I could find, whether it was the next course, whether it's the advanced diving course. Like, all right, you're probably too journey to do this. I was like, oh yeah, I'm ready. I've got some experience. Like, let me go. So I'd jump into that. There's another deployment coming. I'd jump into that. I'd always find myself jumping into something to suppress all the other shit that was going on. I figured if I was working and my mind was busy, it wouldn't bring up all those other things. Yeah. But then you start collecting them, right? Yeah. And you go, oh, I've got a cool little collection of all these fucking traumatic incidents.
Jamming them in.
100%, mate. Yeah. Until, again, that pressure cook just kicks off and you're like, oh, yeah, right, I probably pushed too many in there. I probably should have hit that release valve a few months ago or a few years ago. Which has been, a good lesson. Like, going into the psychological side and getting that psych support, like I wish that I'd come back and said, all right, let's unpack them now. Like, cool lesson for people if they want to listen to it. But a lot of those times we have to learn the lesson ourselves, which is unfortunate. Yeah, for sure. And that was my experience. Like, now, fucking love talking about it. It's really nice to talk about them now, and there hasn't been any emotional connection to any of the stories yet, which is nice, and that hasn't been my experience in the past. So that for me suggests that maybe I'm through the worst of it. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, like I've fucking 2 years of sitting on a couch, bloody spilling the beans to a psych and dealing with the emotions, the anger, the sadness, all that shit that came out, to then sit here and go, oh, cool, it's all out. Yeah. Finally, I'm empty of it all.
Yeah, I was exactly the same. When I did my podcast, I was speaking freely, and I got towards the end, I'm like, fuck, I haven't fucking cried it off.
Yeah, yeah. And that was a really interesting experience for me through it. Probably through the last, I got out in 2022, I formally discharged in 2022, never went back to work from 2021 when I put my hand up and said, look, I probably need some help here. And they went, yeah, you fucking do. And guess what that means? You're not coming back to work and you probably just lost your job, which was a hard pill to swallow. But through that, like, not once during my career or whatever would a fucking tear leave my eyes. Like, that, I think we were sort of unintentionally trained to compartmentalize, I'll say, which is good if you use it appropriately. Don't compartmentalize in terms of just put it all away and hide it forever. Compartmentalize through that, whether it's that job or that deployment, and then unpack it at the end. I didn't realize that part of unpacking. But back to that crying part, I got to a point where I was getting better and doing a lot of psych work, and I would just be driving or doing something really just off with the fairies, and I'd start like getting emotional and feeling these eyes well up. I was like, what the fuck is happening to you? Like, really was hard to come to terms with. I'm like, what's going on, you fucking sook? Like, where's this coming from? I wouldn't be thinking about anything. There'd just be some emotion popping out. I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't know whether I like this. I don't understand this at all. Like, really, really weird. And particularly as like what you'd think of like us as dudes, like, oh yeah, I'm fucking tough and dudes don't cry and all that sort of shit. Dudes don't feel emotion. And now I'm like, I'll watch a movie or something and I'm like, oh, fuck, that's a bit sad.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a tear. I'm like, oh, that's actually quite nice to feel that.
Cute. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've got access to this whole other range of emotions that like we probably should as people realistically.
Yeah.
So you can sit there and be quite stoic with things, but at the same time, like, oh, cool, I can feel.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool when you've got a child too, and you're like, oh, I can relate to him, I can feel, I can love, I can empathize, all those things, rather than just being this fucking stoic 1970s, 1980s dad who's like, yeah, toughen up, mate.
Yeah.
You'll be right.
Suck it up, princess.
I don't want to hear about your shit. Go and tell your mother. Yeah, man. So it's been a really nice experience for me. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to sit here and break down in tears, but it's really nice to access, I guess, what is the whole range of emotions.
Yeah, for sure. I think in my experience of what I've seen, the most successful soldiers or sailors or airmen, to be inclusive, in the world are the ones that fucking hide everything.
Yeah.
Like to get to a good 10, 15, 20-year career, like the only people that are doing that, especially the ones that, operate or, fucking recons and snipers and combat roles.
Yeah, yeah.
The only way you get into 20 years if you're fucking hiding so many injuries, it's fucking
100%.
mental and physical.
Yeah.
And then when you finally decide, like, I can't hide them anymore.
You lift the lid.
Yeah. Then everything.
Oath, mate. And that's exactly my experience. And, mate, every one of my mates almost I could look at and the same. And some of them are still doing it. And I talk to them and I'm like, mate, at some point you got to unpack that shit. Like, go and get the surgery or go and fucking get your head read by the psych, whatever it is. Like, take it from me because I've lived that experience. I know what you're doing. I can see it because I did the same. Like, I fucking know. Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting because you say the most successful ones and you're like, fuck, yeah, they are successful. So there's that positive reinforcement, right? The career and the job is rewarding. They're like, good job, you're doing so well. You're killing it. You're really successful. You're throwing yourself into everything. And then you just check under the rug and you're like, oh, shit, I can put that back down.
Yeah, lock those skeletons away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then, I mean, you look at the ones that are doing the same thing and they're out seeing civvy psychs and stuff. So that's a good thing. At least they are getting the help, but disappointing that the job doesn't necessarily support that.
Yeah.
Still that stigma. I don't think I know. I talk to people about that sort of stuff regularly.
Well, if you go tell the psych, then they're going to put you on meds.
Yep.
Now you got no weapons, no driving, no fucking, no fun.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it is. Like, and for me, exactly. Like, I was having fun. I fucking loved it. Like every bit of that job, the good stuff, the shit stuff. I look back and I'm like, oh, the shit stuff was actually probably pretty fun too. I hated it at the time.
Yeah.
Be like, now you take away my fun. Like, I'm going to sit up here and sit at a desk and, like, generally not even be productive. Like, here's your desk. All right, what's my job? Don't really have a job for you. Just turn up about 9, maybe even 10, leave at 3. Like, life's good for you, right? You can start late, you can finish early.
How good?
I'm like, oh, you don't get me, do you? Like, I need to be doing something that's fucking going to contribute to something. Give me, like, if you need me to run the oranges for the boys, I'll do that. Like, whatever it is, give me some fucking job, not nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, a good mate of mine got put in an office, basically the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
He got taken from recon, put into an office, and he's like, "Are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Like, I've been a recon soldier for the last fucking decade.
Yeah.
Now you want me to sit here and do admin?" Like,
Yeah.
And they didn't even give him any admin to do. He literally had to create a role for himself. And then, because he's such a fucking high achiever, he ended up like creating all these fucking systems and processes for injured soldiers.
Yeah, that's right. And like, why is it the injured soldier that's creating the processes for the injured soldiers, especially while he's dealing with recovery?
Yeah.
Like, very good person to get once he's through it, and at the end, and he's like, "This was my experience. Here's my advice," or even better than my advice, "I'll do it for you." But not while he's recovering. Like,
yeah, it's looking after yourself as well, mate.
Yeah, like, and I try not to talk too much shit about the Defence Force and the Navy and like Army as well. I've spent enough time in the green that I feel like I can talk about it. I try not to, but listen to the people, like particularly the people that have been through the processes and are out the other side, and say, "Hey, this was my experience. Maybe just tighten up here and let go of this." And I feel like the decisions are made from a position of inexperience quite often.
Yeah, that's pretty
which
common
is challenging.
theme,
Yeah, and like all of these decisions have to come from a relatively high position, and there's normally a fair bit of gold on those shoulders. Like, man, you're making decisions, and you're so far separated from the people that you're talking about and making decisions on behalf of.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a really tough one and I've been in positions where I've been able to give advice, and it generally hasn't been listened to. Like, "Oh, well, you're missing it. Maybe in 10 years' time, that lesson will come around. You're like, you've missed 10 years worth of people that they could have had a much better experience."
Yeah, well, that's it. Everything's so slow to change, right?
Yeah,
they know something's wrong, but it has to go through fucking policies and procedures and fucking decision makers. And yeah, like you said, it could take a fucking decade.
Yeah, and I mean, government organisation, right? Like, they're not the most agile of environments. They're not like the private sector where if it's not profitable, fucking 2 days later, guess what? It's fixed because it needs to be profitable.
100%. We're fixing that within the hour.
Yeah, that's right. Whereas military just doesn't have that. I mean, there's checks and balances to be had. There's systems that need to go through. And I don't know, that's well above my pay grade, and it's easy for me to comment on when I've never had the experience of sitting in those rooms, but surely it needs to be looked at, and surely someone is at least acknowledging that and recognising it.
Yeah. So what, you did your Afghan, you stayed in for another fucking decade after that?
Yeah. So yeah, after Afghan, funny, I came back, and like I said, I went, and that's the point I was making. I went as an AB and I only want to do that, all that sort of shit. So then I came back as a very experienced AB. Like, all right, go and do another assistant instructor role. I was like, surely I'm in the realms of promotion here somewhere. Like, I've done my time. It was 6 or 7 years in AB at the time. Fuck, I'll just send the career manager an email and just say, "Hey man, like, what do you need me to do? Like, what else is there? Can I start building my career and forming it in the right place so that I can start working up the ranks?" He's like, "Oh yeah, man, like, you probably got looking at another 12 months, 18 months. I was like, "What do you mean? Like, I just did that. No one, like, if I did that job, that's a Kellick's job. Can you just put me into the rank? Because I've already done the job." Like, and yeah, HDA and all that sort of shit comes in. Everyone's been there and done that. But to do the most elite job that we had going at the time, I was like, surely. So I spent another, I guess, 12 months-ish instructing scuba ed, so ship's divers, which again was a very quiet time, and it was a busy job, like late nights, early mornings, long hours, that sort of stuff. But it was enjoyable. I was there with a couple of my best mates. We were just hanging out and having a good time. Barbecues for lunch, out on the boat, just getting people in the water, blowing bubbles, and fairly cruisy and fun time, to be honest. I needed that, and it was a bit of a decompression for me after that Afghan experience. So I just sat there, then got promoted into the same job. So now I was holding the appropriate rank to do that ship's divers job, instructing. And then very quickly found myself on an advanced course. So bounced through that leading seaman role or rank very quickly. So I think I was only in there for just over 12 months.
Yeah, right. 7, 8 years in an AB and then 12 months as a Kelly.
Yeah, man, yeah. Yeah. So, and that was that part. I was, again, very junior or considered junior to go onto that advanced course, but I'd had good experiences. So that set me in good stead. And again, there was only 2 of us. I think 8 or 9 of us started that course, and we all got to the EOD phase, which was always known as the challenging part. Like, that was the gateway to get promoted. And the same for Army and Air Force, like that explosive ordnance disposal course is necessarily fucking hard. Because when, like we talked about, when things go wrong, they go wrong in a really, really bad way.
Yeah.
And fortunately for me and unfortunately for me, most of the instructors I'd either deployed with to Afghan or they'd been involved in my workup. So I got along with them really, really well. But then they'd just fucking play silly buggers with me and just stitch me up on scenarios and stuff, which was really good fun, but added that level of stress and enjoyment. I'd roll up to, so you'd get a scenario where you'd have a witness give you a report of a bomb or a munition somewhere. Like, all right, mate, I'd come down, what's going on here? What advice, what information can you give me? They're like, oh, mate, I saw something down there. It looks really dangerous. It's big. It's hard. I'm like, oh, yeah, have you got a photo or a picture? And they're like, yeah, I drew your picture. And they just give me this picture of a massive dick. Every fucking time I look at it and they just sit there with their grin on this face. I'm like, come on, man. Just give me fucking something. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm on my own for this one. I'd go back to like my team in that training scenario and they're like, what'd you get? I'm like, another dick. You wouldn't read about it. This one's a bit harder and a bit veinier than the last one. Like, so yeah, like fun course, but very, very challenging. And then so me and one of the other Navy boys were the only ones to get through that and get promoted, which was cool. Another, like, you form some really good friendships in those scenarios too, right? Because everyone, like, whilst it's not an Afghan pressure, you still put this amount of pressure on yourself to pass these scenarios and get through. Because if it doesn't, it means you're going back, you're starting a 3-month course again, and you already know it's a fucked course. So you just want to get through the first time, right? You're delaying yourself 6, 9, however many months this course is going to go for, and however many renditions you're going to go through to get it done. So yeah, ticked that box and got promoted to PO, which was cool. I like those situations because you can have impact on people's lives, right? Positive or negative. And you know yourself, like, the senior sailors, you have a good one and your life's fucking epic as a junior sailor. Yeah. Like, and you get one that is either disinterested or just angry at the world or whatever. And you're like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Here we
can
go.
Make or break your time.
100%, mate. So, like, I really enjoyed those positions where I could make people's careers and lives and enjoyable. Like, you want people to come to work and be happy and, like, be there. It makes me happy too because we're going to have a sick time together. Let's go out and get the job done and fucking go have a barbecue, or we'll fucking knock off early and go and get on the piss, or hang out, like get to know each other's families, all those sort of things that defence environment is really unique in. So yeah, I could have some really cool impact on people, and like that was probably some of my favourite years doing that and training like the next generations. I know what I went through in training, and some good, some bad. So I took the good, waved the bad, and went, righto, let's make a good product here, a good, happy product that's capable to do the job. So yeah, it was a really fun time in that rank.
Beautiful. So, petty officer, cranking, fucking. So like just more of a training task, more of a training role.
Yeah, for that one, and I was sitting in that for a little while, and then got moved fairly quickly back to the dive team, which was cool. And then there was deployments to the Middle East doing the drug interdiction roles that were going on. So Navy had been doing that for quite a while: drug interdiction, illegal immigrants, weapons coming out of the Middle East, all that sort of stuff.
What's that mean? Like ships, boats that had drugs on them.
Yeah. So they'd effectively. Well, as we know, Afghan was quite prevalent with hash and heroin coming out of there. So quite often...
They kept a lot of it too.
Yeah, 100%. The classic drug dealer rule is don't get high on your own supply, and they were definitely getting high on their own supply. I can give you the hot tip. But what they didn't use, they were moving out of Afghan and generally down into Africa and then through there into Europe and all over the place. So... Navy was sending ships up there fairly regularly to what was, the reason behind it was that drug trade was fueling the terrorism efforts through Afghanistan, and we could argue that there's probably a few other countries ending in Stan around there that were harbouring and training terrorists and benefiting from that drug trade. Let's say that's a rumour.
Shit buzz.
Yeah, that's right, shit buzz. So I went up on HMAS Arunta. We did the first 9-month deployment up there, targeting and doing those drug interdiction roles, which was, again, really cool, quite junior in my sort of senior sailor career. So got on there, and again, leaning on that, particularly the Afghan experience, but then the Op Resolute with the boardings and that sort of stuff, put me in a really good place to move onto that ship. And I was on there, my official role was EOD advisor. There was a concern that these drug vessels would have some sort of IEDs to protect their drug haul. So they were losing quite a few drug vessels from, so there's all sorts of countries up there, US, UK, Australia, a couple of other European sort of countries in there. So there was concern that sooner or later they were going to start protecting these drug shipments with IEDs. For me, that made complete sense. If I was that dude, that's exactly what I would do, because you'd be thinking twice next time you jump on a boat if the guys before you had just been cracked off. So that was my official role. Again, threat was low, so I was able to sort of inject myself into the boarding parties. And the two boarding officers, so 2 parties, 1 boarding officer for each party, were quite junior and definitely inexperienced in that role. Very good at their main jobs, but on a boarding party and to run a boarding party, very inexperienced. So I was able to sort of slip in. I didn't take a position or a role specifically because it allowed me to sort of mentor them through what they were doing in terms of more command and control of the team. They did their seizure of the boat and all that sort of other paperwork bullshit that I have no idea how to do. But the command and control of the team and how we'd run through a boarding and all those sort of things and search techniques and what to do when we found things, that sort of stuff I'd done quite a bit of. So I was able to sit in both teams and be very much just roaming and sort of cruising around. I'd sit with the Bordeaux when they needed it. When they didn't, I'd go and hang out with the 2RC. When they were all good or whatever, I'd just cruise around with the search teams. So I was really lucky that I was very free. And I'm not going to say that it was me that did it, but we had a very successful trip because I was able to impart knowledge that I'd gained from other people. And that's kind of a really nice thing to do. You learn things from others and you pass that down. And I was able to do that. And we had a really cool trip with what's reported at and whether the reports are, someone made a number up somewhere and it sounded good, but over $1 billion worth of drugs being heroin and hash. So that was cool.
Any massive holes?
Yeah, you're looking at like 500 kilos worth of pure grade heroin. Like, yeah, man. Yeah, it's pretty wild, the stuff that you see coming out.
Where'd you find it? How did they hide it?
So the first one was funny. Like, it shows how primitive some of these guys are. Like, you look at the crew of these drug vessels and they're like very low on the social scale. Some like pretty severely disabled, whether that's mentally disabled or physically disabled. You'd have a captain who, if you can figure out who the captain was, because normally they would be prosecuted if you can, who was relatively switched on. And then the rest of them are just, mate, they're just working hands. They're flat out fucking running the ship. I don't know how they get it done. So the first one we jumped on, we were about to get off and the search teams had been out. One of the young guys came up and he's like, I just can't get that wet fiberglass out of my head. I was like, what do you mean wet fiberglass? He's like, on the wall there's just fiberglass. It looks like it's just been painted on there. I'm like, mate, take me down there and give me a look. And he goes down and there's like this circle cut in the wall with fucking fiberglass that's still wet. So they've obviously seen us coming. They're like, fuck, we better try and hide it. Put it on there. And I was like, come on, man. Like, you can see what that is, can't you? He's like, that's what I thought. He's like, but the rules are we're not allowed to touch stuff and do any damage. And I was like, close your eyes for a sec. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, don't worry, I just put my boot through it. On the other side, there were fucking 200 kilos of hash. I'm like, mate, like, if it's that obvious, then like we're not breaking the boat. The hole's already there. We didn't make the hole. We just, it fell. Like, did you remember the roll of the ship and you leant on the wall and it fell? And he's like, yeah. Like that sort of shit. Like, and you come out with 200 kilos of hash. Cool. Good job. Like, job well done. Yeah. So the team learnt that, like, there's rules, but like in those positions and those roles, like you have to be able to do your job.
Yeah.
So there's,
You got to bend them a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I'm not going around fucking breaking their ship or doing anything that's irresponsible, but it resulted in the result. So that one was quite obviously easy to find. But then there was another big heroin haul that was, they had their fuel tanks. So you look at these big 1,000-litre fuel tanks and they'll have like 5 or 6 down each side. So they carry a shitload of fuel. And they'd welded a false wall in it and filled up the outside, so the external one. So we could read it and it would say that it was half full of fuel. And we had some pretty switched on stokers on there. One of the things, like you look for things and obvious signs, and they'd found one where these nuts had been like just worked their guts out, whereas all the other ones on the other fuel tanks are all rusted fucking solid.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this just doesn't sit right. The fuel level's reading here, but that's not right because of this. Like, it was a really well thought through understanding of not only the nuts was like, oh, cool, there's a sign. Let me think deeper into this. And just showed their skill as a stoker. And I think they were a tanky, so ones that fucking sort the fuel out and fill that and do whatever. I'm going to pretend that I understand, but I got no idea what they do. So, yeah, came to me and said, look, this is what I think, this, and this. And I was like, oh, get fucked. Like, in a fuel tank's a pain in the ass because you got to drain it. Then you got to figure out how to get in it, fucking why this false wall goes, how that works. Sometimes on these boats, you get yes, they're all fucking drug smugglers, but some of them they're just seamen. They're just out there like living their life on the sea, getting a bit of pay. Sometimes they don't even know what they're doing. So you go up and you go, mate, where's your drugs? And they're like, what are you talking about? We got goats. We're taking goats to wherever we're going. I'm like, yeah, righto, but like, what about the drugs? Like, no idea. Like, they genuinely have no idea. And then some of them are like, oh, it's just over there. Like, I saw them. It's just in there. Go in there, undo that, do that, in there. I packed it all in there. Like, fuck, man. Your boss is not going to be happy with you. Yeah, and you get that, like, any sort of criminal element, like whatever they're doing, whatever organised crime it is, you'll get the people who are really committed and the ones that are less committed. Some are just there for money and some have no idea. So you've got to go through. And interesting, later in my career, when I re-rolled as an interrogator, I was like, fuck, if only I'd thought that through and had these skills back then, we probably would have had a lot more. But so you find those unicorns and they're like, oh man, yeah, and obviously we had an interpreter. They're like, oh, there's 20 bags of whatever. You're like, well, how much is a bag? Is it a kilo? Is it 5 kilos? Is it 10 kilos? Either way, they give you a good idea. Or they're like, oh, last trip, yeah, we took a heap, but this trip, no, we got nothing. We're just coming back or going somewhere else. So yeah, to get into that fuel tank and get in under there, and I wasn't willing, like, back to that experience in the boat where if I don't do it, then someone else has got to do it. I was like, right, well, I'm getting in that fuel tank because I know that it's just been drained of diesel and I don't know what else is in there, and there's going to be some level of flammable vapor left. All that shit was going through my head. I was like, all right, I'm a lot bigger than most of these people, but guess what? I got to jam myself in there with this dude and pull out all this heroin, which again was a cool bust.
So they have a fuel tank, fill up half of it with heroin.
Yep.
Then weld a wall on and then fill it with fuel.
Yep.
So you got to drain it, get through that wall.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Yep. And they'll have like a little manhole often bolted. So you take that manhole off, climb through that, and that's where the heroin is.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So some of them they do some really good concealments, and then others just garbage. Just depends on how much effort they're willing to put in. Yeah. Or they get a boat. One of them that we had was quite big. So you're looking at probably 20 metre long vessel. Just filled with like the bottom level was those big fuck off tractor tires and then like truck tires and then normal car tires and then scooter tires. We got on and I was like, boss, might as well get off. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, we can't search this. I'm like, how are we going to move all that? Where are we going to put all that shit? Like, it was jam packed. He's like, well, the captain, he's not going to be happy with that. I don't give a fuck if he's happy. Like, it is what it is. Unless we're going to start throwing tyres over the boat, over the side, or we load our ship with tyres, but I still don't think we can fit that. He's like, all right, well, we got to search. We're going to be here for a while. So that sort of shit does my head in. They're like, just do it because it keeps someone else happy. I'm like, we might get lucky here, but our percentages are really, really low. Like, we're probably better off going and finding another ship and searching that and doing a good job rather than wasting our time here and doing a shit job.
Yeah.
And then things start to get dangerous. They're like, what else can you do? Well, I don't know. They're like, all right, get the smallest person to climb down in there. I'm like, what? Through all those tyres, at sea when the ship's moving. Like, think it through. Like, does that sound like a good idea to you? Because it sounds like a stupid idea to me. Like, all right, we got to get creative. I'm like, here, get creative. Put me on the radio and I'll tell them it's not happening. Because at some point I have responsibility for these people too. And if you're not willing to take responsibility, then I will. And once you say that, like, oh, you're right. Like, boss, we can't fucking search this anymore. It's getting unsafe. All right, get off. Job done.
Yeah. How'd you find the ships? You stumbling across them, or you fucking some in departments telling you where they
are? Yes, there is a bit of both. Some you get lucky, some you get some advice on. Yeah, and I'll leave that one there to not give away too much on the game.
OPSEC.
Yeah, that's right. But definitely there's a bit of both. It's really funny when you jump on a boat and someone will say, yep, you're 100% on a drug boat. You spend like 2 or 3 days on it. You rip this thing apart. You're drilling holes. You're doing all this stuff. Like, they've hidden something on here. They've hidden it really well, because by the end of those 3 days, you know that boat inside out and backwards. Like, Jesus Christ, where is this stuff? And it might be that it's just a vessel that's like, it's the same in Afghan. You get neighbours who are Taliban or not, and they'll have like fucking upset about territory. Let's say they're just normal civvies in Afghan. One will go up and go, oi, that guy down there with all the goats, he's Taliban.
Get rid of the competition.
That's right. Yeah. Go and get him. And you're like, sweet. And he'll either take his land or fucking take his 7 wives or whatever. So all that stuff goes on in that world too. Yeah. So someone's like, oh, that boat over there. They tell whoever to whoever. They've got heaps of drugs on there. They get targeted, and old mate swims down by himself or motors down by himself, and he's happy.
Got my own fishing spot.
Yeah, that's right. So that like, intelligence world is very can be very murky, and particularly at what I would say that's a relatively low level a lot of the time. Can be challenging.
You said the fucking A&P and A&A were high all the time. Any fucking memorable stories of fucking shenanigans with them?
Not really, because when they were high, I mean, they're on heroin and weed. So they're
just
like, pretty much. Like, you roll in, they're all like racked out and hanging out, just fucking sitting there having a bit of tea, or they're asleep, or fucking... you go and feel their pulse. You're like, oh, he's nearly dead, I reckon. Like, yeah, man. So, like, nothing that I really saw that was a concern other than the actual behaviour that was concerning. You're like, man, I've got to go on a patrol with this dude later on this afternoon. Like, what state's he going to be in? I mean...
I've had a few of the army boys telling me they'd fucking have flowers in the fucking barrel of their guns and
oh, mate,
fucking holding hands and picking apples and just fucking la land.
Like, but you got to look at it in terms of that's their life. Like, that's just a Tuesday for them. Like, my first patrol lad, I was rolling down the road on the gun, like I said, 2 minutes out of the base, and there's dudes walking around with an AK. I'm like, do I shoot this dude or do I just let him be? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, he's got a fucking AK. I'm like, yeah. Like, that's what they do. Like, just normal dudes cruising. So all these little lessons you learn quick. You're like, oh yeah, that's right. It's just a Tuesday for them. He just carries that because he wants to be a gangster and thinks that's what it's doing. Mate, they roll copper around the barrels of their weapon to bling them out, and bits of cotton and all sorts of stuff. Like, it's just a different world. Like,
charms and shit.
Yeah, that's right. Like, I guess it's kind of like your open carry place in the US. People just roll around with guns and you're like, oh, okay, that's cool. Well, Afghan's kind of the same. It's just there's a war there, and there's what would be considered a terrorist element cruising around there as well. So you just got to try and figure out who's who in the zoo.
Yeah. So, after your Arunta, what...
mighty warship Arunta. Then at that time I was getting a bit... I was getting the shits with the Navy a bit, to be honest, and with the clearance diving world. I just didn't think that we were... being used. Like, I'd had this career of, I know what we can do as a clearance diver, and the skills that we have can allow us to go and do all these different roles. And there was a lot of guys, myself included, post that Arunta trip, just sitting around doing nothing. And that's, again, like we talked about, generally sort of motivated people that want to get out and do stuff and deploy and go and have all these cool experiences. Just sitting around, and I wasn't willing to do that. So I sort of looked around and went, all right, this HUMINT program sounds cool. I'd sort of been tracking it a bit on the trip and doing a bit of research. And I was like, well, maybe it's time for a change. So I put my app in to go and stream HUMINT, and they said, mate, you're fucking dreaming. Like it's kind of that, oh yeah, join up and change over. It won't happen. So I got told that it's not going to happen because we were so short of clearance divers and we were so short in that senior sailor area. They're like, we can't let you go. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, as an organisation, I completely understand that. Like, you need to keep your eggs in the basket where you need them. But for me, it was like, I, again, just didn't take no for an answer. I was like, cool, tell me no, but I'll figure out a way. Mm. I said, all right, well, how about we do a bit of negotiating and I go and do the selection. And if I'm successful there, then we'll fucking revisit this. I'm like, all right, well, even if you're successful, you're still not going. Like, okay, well, can I do it? I'm like, sure. Seems like a waste of time. But so I went and did it. And so there's 2 streams. I think at the time there was 2 streams. I don't know whether that's changed. So you can go exploitation, which works out to be an interrogator, or a source operator. So cultivating sources, building relationships there. So I went and did the selection, which goes over a few days. And I got recommended for both. So I had a very successful sort of selection period for that. And I chose the interrogator role. So I went back, spoke to the CAT manager again, said, hey, been recommended, did really well. They want me to come on the next course. He's like, well, we've had this conversation. Fortunately, it was a Chief of Defence Force priority posting. So that kind of outranked the CAT manager saying no. So I got on the next course and sort of the rest was history there, passed that course. Backed up to then do the interrogation management course. So I started managing sort of interrogators and interrogation rooms, and was a fucking cool experience to see how that unfolds and how to build strategies on people and teams and how you draw that information out and what sort of tactics can be applied to people. It's really a fun role, and for anyone out there that's serving, go and do that shit. Like, it's fucking great fun. You learn a lot about yourself and a lot about people, which is it's
life
nice.
Skill.
Yeah, exactly right. Like, it is a life skill, and like, it's very manipulating people to get things out of them. But you change that into a life skill, and it's very influential on people. So that can be the positive way that you can manipulate someone to do something or to get something for yourself, or you can influence someone to get the better out of them. Yeah, it's a really interesting. I like to use that as a sort of a parenting technique a lot of the times. Like, I'm not manipulating my son, but I'm influencing him to make the right decisions and to do the right things in life. So, when you can separate those things, there's a real manipulation has a really good side. In that scenario, you're manipulating them for your own benefit, and that's national security benefit. So therefore, I can make that okay to do because you're doing it for a reason.
Yeah, nice. Did you go use it?
So I was, again, right place, right time, which was a lot of my career. The evacuation of Afghan was going on just after I'd finished that manager's course. And again, due to my experience, and was able to run teams, and I was one of the senior dudes in that position. Like, all right, well, we're sending a team to screen all the dudes coming out of Afghan. So the way that evacuation worked, and it played out pretty well on TV for people to see, like people hanging off the landing gear of planes and falling off, like it was a shit show. So we, as in Australia, set a heap of dudes and went, righto, we're going to go and do this. But there was no real plan behind any of it, as we saw. And the same for every country. US was the same, UK was the same, whatever other countries were involved. So we ripped a heap of dudes out, dumped them in Al-Minhad Air Base, which is just outside of Dubai. And then our team was there to screen all these people. So there was, unfortunately, if I'd planned that, I would have put our team in Afghanistan, so we could have screened them and said, all right, you're coming, you're not coming, you're coming. So then we know everyone that we got the best picture we could possibly have when we're bringing them back to Al-Minhad, which is obviously an Australian/multinational base. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, so we then had these people in a base, relatively well secured, trying to figure out who they were there. So that brought with it its challenges of when you find people who we may not necessarily agree with their thoughts, we've already got them. So then someone has to deal with what we're going to do with them and figure that out. Again, well above my pay grade. We can only say, yep, all these ones are good. These ones you might just need to do a bit further research into and just check them out, because the answers that they're giving may not align with what we think is a constructive Australian value. I'll say that. Trying to jump around that as best as I can. So yeah, really cool. Whilst there was no interrogation techniques applied because we weren't allowed to, because you look at these people, a lot of them were Australian citizens, like they're dual passport holders, they're dual citizens.
Oh, yeah.
So some of them you'd get down and they speak better than I do. And they're like, hey mate, yeah, I was just over here visiting my family and it all went to shit. I just live in Blacktown. I was just over here for a few months. You're like, mate, I'm like, what are you doing in Australia? He's like, oh, I'm studying fucking bioscience or some fucking fancy thing at University of New South Wales. I'm like, oh man, get in there. Next. Like, so funny. And then like the sad side of it, you'd see families come in, they're like, hey, there you go. And they'd give you this fucking beautiful 3-year-old girl. You're like, so then you've got to try and figure out with an interpreter with broken English or whatever, like, who are you guys? Like there's this family unit. They've got this little girl with them. Like, who are you? I'm like, oh, we're fucking Muhammad and Fatima and whatever else, all these, there's the husband, there's the wife, there's the kids, and someone just gave us this girl. I'm like,
oh no.
Where? Like when we got on the plane. Like, are they here? Like, fuck if I know. Like, we just looked after her and took her because someone gave it to us. So then you got to figure out where this young girl's family are, if they're with the broad group of people that we brought back, or are they still in Afghan? And if they're there, then where does this poor little girl go? Fucking like pretty harsh.
Yeah.
Like the female, like Afghan female soccer team, I think it was the national soccer team off the top of my head, obviously heavily targeted by the Taliban because they're women, they're successful, they don't follow the cultural practices that are expected of them. So there's all these cool stories of like escaping and climbing through fucking tunnels, like when I say tunnels, like over roads that are full of sewage and whatever else, trying to get into the airbase, which the name eludes me at this point. To then get out and get on these planes going out. So, and you get most of the team, you're like, all right, well, where's your goalkeeper or whatever? And they're like, oh, fuck, she didn't make it. I'm like, what does not make it mean? They're like, don't know. I'm like, okay, right. So you, mate, just.
What happened to the little girl?
I don't like, again, once we just give the advice and then like there's a lot of other government agencies within Australia that, like, that's over to them. We're just there to screen, advise, good, bad, indifferent, follow-ups, little girl, little boy, whatever.
Yeah.
Really challenging. And I had 2 chicks in that team. Fuck, they all worked hard because obviously a lot of times within their cultural beliefs, they won't let me talk to a woman. So we'd always have these 2 girls generally on shift, which on shift went for like 7 days or something. And they were just, one of them was up at least most of the time, or if not both of them, because you'd often have a pair working together. One's interviewing and one's either recording or observing, or all that sort of stuff that goes on. And they were epic. They were both diggers. So like, again, very junior in their careers, but squared away, which is really good with that HUMINT selection process. Is very few people get through that aren't very appropriate for the job, which was good to see, because most selections that I've seen, you'll always get the 1s and 2s that get through and they're just fucking garbage at the end. You can never stop that. That's the way it works. Yeah. But that HUMINT one was very, very good, very professional and run at a high level, like high-level psychologists there, all sorts of stuff, observing and just picking people apart. And when you get interviewed and those sort of things, you're like, oh, if you got to be announced to, you're like, well, that's a fucking great question. How am I going to navigate that question and give the right answer? Because that's a bloody good one.
How can I outplay this hand?
Yeah, that's right. you know that this person is interviewing you in very squared away, and you're like, oh, they've got my number. I'm like, geez, let's just be honest and see where that gets me.
Playing chess while I'm playing checkers.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Like, they're playing a way different game to me.
So was that kind of the last straw that led to your? Yeah,
it was. So while I was there, I got promoted to chief on that deployment, which was cool to get promoted while deployed and that sort of thing. But it also led to with promotion comes posting. So it cut my HUMINT posting short to bring me back into the clearance diving branch. So I managed to play a sort of checkmate move to get and do that HUMINT one, but then they checkmated me again and got me back, the bastards. Again, I was playing checkers and they're playing chess. But I got promoted, which was not a bad consolation prize. And I came back to the dive team, and this is where it all came toppling down for me. Is I went, like, my dream posting was to be the chief of EOD, so Chief of Explosive Ordnance Disposal. And they posted me back to that, promoted me into that position. I was like, fuck, this is where I want to be. This is epic.
Did it?
And I had that little moment of realization. I was like, all right, I had my Afghan experience and whatever else came of that. I got sent by what is ultimately the chiefs. Definitely not there. I'm not holding them responsible for anything that happened to me. But I was like, I'm now in a position where I've got to make those decisions on the people that I'm now charged with. And I know the results that had on me. So I really struggled with that. Like, I was there, like I said earlier, there to make a positive impact on these people's lives. Yes, they've signed up to do the job just like I did, and they acknowledge and accept the risks. But I don't think they fully understood the risks, just like I didn't. So that really weighed heavily on me, that I then was like, okay, yep, and you're going to do this and you're going to do this. And I know all the potential outcomes of those things. So it really fucked with me. And then I was in Sydney, so that posting was in Sydney. My wife at the time and son were in Brisbane, so I was co-located from them. I was living on a base in this little fucking 2x2 room. So I'd go from one base to work, back to the other base to live, no family, like mates there, but no real access to mates because I was living on a base. And it really came crashing down pretty quickly. Lots of dark times in that room, to the point where, yeah, we ended up on a cliff in Sydney, just contemplating what this life looked like at the time.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, really challenging time. But that's the time where I went in and said, hey, like, I went from that cliff, went into work and went, we got to work something out here because this isn't working out. And that was the last day I went to work. So yeah, they're like, all right, come back in tomorrow. We'll have another chat with the psych. They sent me to my workplace to chat with my boss and warrant officer, who fucking didn't miss a beat. They were epic. Like,
yeah, nice. When
we talk about support from defence, and often I'll hear the narrative that it's lacking, that wasn't my experience. My experience was that it was very, very good. I probably, in some way, shape or form, owe my life to those two guys, with the way that they managed me in that time, very acute moment. I got on a plane that afternoon, might have been the next morning, flew home and never went back.
Yeah, right.
Which was a fucking wild transition to go from what I thought I was as a person with all my identity that's wrapped up in that role and the uniform and all that sort of stuff, and then never to go back into that. That was fucking wild and really, really challenging. And
you joined as a kid too, right?
That's right. Like, those formative years from 19 through to fucking 38 or something. I didn't know any better than to be that person. Like, the mask of the clearance diver and the job role, that was the mask I was wearing. That was me. And even now, I think probably only the last probably 3 to 6 months, I reckon, I'm just starting to figure out what Ash looks like and who Ash is without that. And since discharge, I've been bouncing in, trying to do a heap of stuff. Like, all right, well, maybe I need to do that. Like, this seems like a normal transition to go and do that. Is this the right thing? Do I need to be a motivational speaker? Do I need fucking all these different things? I'm like, you know what? Just fucking go and be you. Be a dad. Go and renovate your house. Just give yourself a moment to just sit and be present in life. You don't have to be anything, which is a really, really nice realization, to just sit and go, I think Ash is pretty cool, just being me, hanging out, talking shit on in a microphone with you. Like life's, it's been a really nice, and I don't care if anyone else thinks Ash is cool. Could not give a fuck. But as long as I'm happy with him, then that's pretty good.
Yeah. I laughed because, fucking, not because I'm a sadist, but that was literally
a little bit of that.
Literally fucking exact same story. I went from a fucking top of a cliff straight into into base and said, I'm not okay.
Yeah. And I think there's so many, like when I told that story very, very publicly the first time, I went and volunteered for the clearance diving trust. So a trust that supports clearance divers once they transition out of defence. And I did that because I wanted to make a difference. I couldn't make a difference in that position anymore. I wasn't that senior sailor that could help the guys. I was now a fucking dirty civvy, effectively. Couldn't apply anything to help these people that I'd grown up with, like my best friends that I'd spent the last 20 years with. I couldn't be there for the people that were coming up that I'd learned all the lessons. So I got to do that. So I went and volunteered for the trust. And I was like, all right, I've got to go big on this and make an impact. So I told that story for the first time, and I had some of my really close mates there that night, and they come up like fighting back tears, and they're like, mate, why the fuck am I finding this out now? Why didn't you tell me then? And I was like, you know the answer. And they're like, yeah, of course. Like everyone knows the answer. No one wants to talk about that stuff. No one wants to show what I'll say is weakness. It's not weakness. It's just shit that you've got piled up.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was tough to tell that story. It's a lot easier to tell that story now. And I've told it a couple of times, but to be able to make that difference in other people's lives, I think that's the important part. And that's like, I enjoy doing that now. Like, hey, go and talk about, like we said before, go and fucking have a cry if you have to.
Yeah.
Go and unpack your stuff. Back to the sayings that we're saying, like that problem halved or problem shared is a problem halved. Like that shit's fucking true. Yeah. Who's that old grey dude that came up with these things? Like, yeah. It's real.
I'd rather you cry on my shoulder than carry your coffin.
Exactly, mate. Like, and I've done enough coffin carrying. Like, and it was nearly mine. And like you say, you were nearly there too. Like,
yeah,
I've done enough of that. Like, even like I said last week, to have a funeral of, and it doesn't have to be suicide, but it's that risk-taking behaviour that goes along with those sort of situations, whether it's alcohol, drugs, speeding, all these other things. Like we go from a job where you do all these weird and wonderful things, and then you try and fill that void.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck does that look like? And sometimes that results in a really bad ending.
Yeah, for sure.
And more often than not, sadly.
Yeah, I was talking about this the other day with. I just posted a reel about it actually that fucking a lot of people have responded to, but you take warfighters that have, they joined to be a warfighter because that's who they are, that's their personality, and then when you get out, the whole white coat fucking industry of ESOs where it's, arts and crafts and fucking...
Yeah, man.
Just this muted fucking bland...
Oh,
and they think, you're not going to get a fucking infantry soldier that's just been medically discharged to want to partake in some fucking...
painting course or...
Yeah.
Like, 100%. Give the boys an outlet.
Yeah.
And I say boys, like, yes, girls, you too. Like, we're the same creatures at the end of the day. The people that put themselves in these jobs do it for a reason.
Yeah.
Take the gender away, like, irrelevant. Within the clearance diving role now, we've got quite a few girls coming through, like, fucking... just as capable, if not more capable than a lot of the dudes. Like, doesn't matter the gender, it's just that motivation to get in and do it. So then when that role's taken away, you're like, what the fuck do I do now? Like,
yeah.
For me, like a lot of my outlets, and I haven't rolled for a while, but jiu-jitsu was a big one for me. Like, let's go in and bash each other. Like, have a sick time and then have a high five after and go, how good was that?
Yeah, fucking oath.
Like, get the heart rate out, get the sweat, get the testosterone, all that sort of stuff that we...
Could fucking struggle cuddle.
Yeah, that's right, mate. Exactly. Yeah, man. It's good shit.
Jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai, any sort of combat sports where you fucking put it all in, like it's a real good bonding experience.
Yeah, and
like you're fucking shit, do hard things.
Yeah, exactly. Like fucking go and do those hard things. They're the cool things, and there's cool experiences from it, and the outcome after it is like, oh fuck, I got something done there. That was good. Like, and again, like we talked about earlier, analyze those hard things. How did I get better from that? Did I get put in a really shit position there that I didn't enjoy? My young fella, he does jiu-jitsu too, and we'll fuck around at home, and I'll put him in a position where he is completely powerless. And that's a hard position for anyone to sort of deal with when someone is completely dominating you.
Yeah.
And he'll get the shits and he'll come out and he'll be upset. I'm like, mate, I'm not the one making you get the shits. You allowed yourself to go into that mental state. So how do we get better from that? I don't know whether that might be a bit too deep for a 12-year-old, but...
I don't know, Dad. Fuck you, though.
Maybe I'm lining him up for a lifetime of psychological issues already. Sorry, mate.
Where'd the fucking Re-Rise Collective, what's that?
Yeah, so that's a business that we've got going on. It was birthed between me and my mate Juss, coming from we want to make people's lives better. And what does that look like? Whether that's coming together and having some fun, whether that's that motivational speaking that I've spoken about. And I find that even that phrase really interesting of motivational speaking. Like, who am I to say that I can sit there and motivate or tell a story that's going to make? I find that very almost fucking elitist. I don't like that sort of. But if my story or my experiences can inform someone and allow them to go, oh well, he did this and this worked for him, maybe I'll try it. Then I think that's a good thing. It's kind of that sort of collaborative experience between whoever we're working with. Like, I gain just as much knowledge and experience from the people that I'm working with as they get from me, which is I think is a cool thing, which is the reason behind the title of We Rise. Like, we're not there to give everything. Like, it's a collaborative experience between whether it's a one-on-one or a fucking room of 300. It's we as a human race or a community, I think that there's a bit there that we all grow together and we'll improve the world together. And I know that that's very looking through rose-coloured glasses. But imagine if the world was like that, where we all just are motivated to help our brother and sister that's sitting next to us. Like, it's such a beautiful thought for me. Realistic or not, probably not, but I like the idea of it. And I'm not religious or anything, but again, those weird sayings that come from old people, love thy neighbour, like that sort of stuff is quite important for me, and a nice little realisation of who I am and what I'm potentially evolving into.
Dude, even like fucking in a real setting, love thy neighbour, like how much better is it if you see your neighbour and you fucking stop and have a chat?
100%.
Rather than just being that fucking, not interested in getting to know anybody. Yeah.
Literally did it yesterday. I was renovating the house and building a wall yesterday, and my balcony sort of sits next to my neighbours, and they've just moved in the same as me. And I was busy doing something, and I sort of look and we made eye contact, and I purposely avoided it because I was like, oh no, I'm busy and I don't want to interact with that. I was like, fucking have a look at yourself, mate. Like, are you so busy that you've got to go and put that bit of timber up or whatever that you can't say, hey, how you going? My name's Ash. Like, nice to meet you. Maybe we'll catch up and hang out for a barbecue or something one day. Like, not even 30 seconds. But instead I was like, no, I've got to do something. Like, you get caught up in your own agenda and stuff so often. So it was nice to just check myself and go, no, just be a good human and a nice person and offer a nice experience to that person that you've never met.
Yeah, 100%. It makes a massive difference.
Yeah.
Couple of questions. Oh, fuck, that's what I was going to say before when we were talking about it. I think a lot of the ESOs, there's so much risk mitigation.
Yeah.
Like jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai and combat stuff, super helpful. And I'd say important.
Yep.
But nobody will do it because they're scared of injuries, right? And I think the doctors and psychs and stuff are also like, don't do this, don't do that, don't put yourself in these situations, be careful of your back. And so, okay, to a certain degree, but let's not fucking cover them in cotton wool.
100%.
Let's try and make them as resilient as they can be with the injuries that they have, right?
Yeah, it's exactly like you said. Like, dudes are broken, chicks are broken. Like, more so that I'll use the physical example. Like, I came out back injuries and all sorts of shit. The same as most people do. You're putting your body in weird situations that are going to injure it. But you can't come back and just sit on the couch and fuck. Get a sweet weed prescription and smoke it all day. Like, go out and, like, that's the stuff that, particularly jiu-jitsu, like, that's my experience. Like, it's good for the body. Yeah, you're going to have to manage whether it's a shoulder or a back or a leg injury or something. Manage that, but don't sit around and do nothing, because I can guarantee it's going to get worse. You sit around and do nothing, it gets worse, and then your head gets worse. And then guess what? You're fucking done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and exactly right. Like, there's a few, like, veterans grappling, like, cool. Started by I think AJ's ripping in, doing good for a lot of people. Like, those sort of, I'll give it the broad title of ESO, kind of is, like, doing good and making those differences. It's nice.
Yeah, 100%. Just wanted to circle back to the coming back to Brisbane, fucking sort of out of uniform now. How hard was it, and sort of how long did it take before you could sort of look for something else, I guess?
Well, I guess the answer to how long, probably now. Like, probably very, very current conversation that I've got going on. Of like,
when did you get out?
2022. So moved up here in 2021 and then lived up here sort of serving but not going to work till I think September 2022. So like I guess what's that probably almost exactly 3 years today that I discharged. So yeah, to get to the point with trying a heap of different things and throwing myself into things that I did or didn't really want to do or thought I needed to do or all that sort of other bullshit, to now settling with myself and going, all right, well, what do I actually want to do? What do I need to do? Do I need to do anything? Like, how about I just settle, understand me, and I'm at that point now, renovate the house, hang out with my son, deal with that, and then go, right, let's go and contribute to something somewhere. What that looks like right now, I don't know. But I'm not on the search, but my eyes are open. I'll put it that way. It's interesting, I spoke about this recently, the transition like seminars and whatever else they offer you, which I didn't attend to any because I was so fucked when I was leaving. Like, go and do this, go and do that. I'm like, I don't know, fuck, no. Like, I don't have the capacity to understand what you're even trying to tell me to do, let alone going to do it and getting a positive and constructive experience from that. But right now, I'm like, geez, that stuff probably would be worthwhile. Well, too late. Most of it's expired. Like, sorry, champ. So it's interesting, all those things. So yeah, don't know what that. I think that answers the question.
There was obviously a stage of grief, of loss, and
yeah, exactly. Grieving for like a job, a person who I was or thought I was, like experiences. Yeah, there's so much shit, identity, all that sort of stuff and trying to figure out, more importantly, who that identity is and what that person is now. Which
did you go through a stage of that, fucking sitting on the couch and smoking DVA weed? Yeah,
pretty much. And I was pretty good with the weed, to be honest. Like, alcohol's always been my drug of choice. And to be honest, like, I got on I'll call it the medicinal cannabis, the appropriate name. And do you know what? Best thing for me, because I'd have that for obviously a number of reasons, but it also stopped me drinking.
Yeah.
And I can use it and apply it and take, there's been no addictive effect for me, but it stopped me from drinking because it gave me that, right, chilled out, relaxed, escape feeling. But I wouldn't sit there and have a bender of 200 beers over a weekend or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one's actually been really beneficial for me. It's been a good experience.
You can still function.
Yeah.
After a smoke.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not hungover. I'm not this. I'm not that. I can just go and have a bit or a lot or whatever. Get myself to a point where I'm like, okay, I can just sit with myself now and be.
Yeah, it does have that calming effect.
Yeah, that's right. It's and again, get a little bit deep, but it's almost a little bit spiritual for me, which is yeah. Sorry for anyone out there, a bit of hoo in there, but yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So fucking what now? Just doing the house and chilling out and taking some time to just be.
I'm doing now what I probably should have done when I left. But I just didn't have the capacity to do that.
Yeah, of course.
Like, that's the expectation of you get out, you don't go to work, and you just heal and recover and all those sort of things. But it was too raw, and it has been for a long time. Like I said, I can talk about other shit without any emotion now. So that's a really good indication for me that it's probably starting to heal. I'm probably, okay, cool. I'm happy. I'm settled. Let's go, like I said, contribute in some way, shape or form. What does that look like? Don't 100% know, but rather than searching, my eyes are open.
Yeah. And what about the business stuff? Are you trying to build something there? Yeah,
so that's building. I've got there's actually my business partner's doing a job right now with Queensland Medical Institute, which is a really cool job. I got another job down in Sydney with Cumberland City Council next week. So it's building and it's good stuff. Like, they're doing their work safe type week, and their key topic this year is sort of that mental health and being able to talk about the very male dominated environment in that situation. So dudes don't like to talk, they don't like to cry, they don't like to show emotion. They're, again, the parents and the men of the 80s, like that 40 to 50 year old demographic. So gonna go and spend some time with them and have a chat and just try and see if we can all sing Kumbaya and hold hands and cry together. It's not really true, but those topics will definitely come through, and We'll definitely get some good experiences, I think, because people are generally open to those conversations these days, more so than what they have been.
100%.
And particularly if you've got someone standing in front, like I'm a 6'4" dude that likes fighting, and then to talking about emotions and crying and that sort of stuff. There's a bit of a contrast there.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
If he says it.
Yeah, well, and hopefully that makes it okay for other people to say to talk about it and say it, or go home and talk to their missus or talk to their mate over a beer or whatever that is.
It's definitely become more of a thing.
Yeah, that's right. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I'm very careful on that line of like, I don't think we should all sit there and sing Kumbaya and cry. Like that's not where I'm going with it. But I said earlier, like that range, be able to feel that range of emotions because fuck, it's life. And it's actually pretty cool to have all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. As I've sort of gone through my own mental health struggles and come out the other side with a lot of fucking therapy and all that sort of stuff, I've started to not implement it but use what I've learned on myself to sort of probe into friends' lives. Like instead of just having real superficial bullshit conversations about the fucking footy or whatever, be like, how's things at home, mate? How's life? Try and probe a little bit, and if fucking hell you find that, there's some stuff going on.
100%, mate.
And once people start opening up, you're like, oh, actually everything's not all right, fucking things are pretty fucking hard at the moment, struggling. You can fucking let them know you're there for them and change a relationship.
Yeah, and it's okay to go, life's actually a bit fucked at the moment. You know what? Everyone goes through it. Everyone's life is a bit fucked at some point. Yeah. And if you haven't been through that bit of life where it's fucked, then it's probably coming at some point. Like, as sad as that is to say, and it's quite a dark thought. It doesn't have to be like you end up on the cliff, but you end up going through just a shit period of time. If you have those conversations with your mate or your missus or fucking whoever it is, like, oh, cool, it's a shit time. You know what? Fucking Steve-O's down the road. Might just go on, because I know he'll ask, or he might just say, hey, how you going? And that's an opportunity. Yeah. And vice versa. When fucking Steve-O's having a shit time, he knows because you're a safe place, there's no judgment, there's no nothing. It's just everyone goes through it. Acknowledge everyone has that time and go, all right, well, now's my time. Or now's his time and I'm going to be there for him. When you think about it like that and when you apply it in that sort of way, it becomes pretty fucking simple, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Like you said, superficial conversations. You're like, hey, mate, how's the weather? How's the footy? How's the missus? Yeah, cool. All right, sweet. Have a good day. Walk away and you're like, we contributed nothing to each other. Why did we even bother with that? Yeah. Like, it's almost a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. And you can walk away after a real conversation and be like, you feel much closer to the person. You feel fucking better about yourself.
It's exactly like this conversation. Like, we know each other from bar soap, but we fucking got pretty deep and dirty on a bit of shit. So you walk away and you're like, oh, fuck, I think he's a good dude. Like, he's a dude I can sit down, have a beer and have a chat with. Or fuck, sit there and have a brew with and walk away all jittery. It's
for sure.
Contributing to others, like that's my jam.
Yeah.
I guess in a way it always has been, but it's becoming more obvious to me that I like being there for people.
Yeah, on reflection, you're like, the reason that became such a big part of my military career is because that's what I thrive in. Like,
I love the saying of being of service. And for me, a long time that meant service in the military and in defence. But then understanding that a bit deeper and like applying a bit of my experience now, I'm like, no, it's being of service to others. Like, I'm not a servant to others, but I like to be of service, give them a hand, whether that's fucking building a fence for them or fucking sitting there and having a deep and meaningful conversation. Like, either way, let's hang out. You can probably do both of them at once, really. Probably the best time. Oh, let's build your fence, and then, like you said, you can just probe a little bit. Giving away all your secrets.
That's good. Definitely makes you feel good about yourself.
Yeah, that's right. And they walk away feeling hopefully better.
If that's the way that you're fucking wired, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
not everybody is.
Yeah.
Not everybody cares or wants to.
Well,
wants to know.
Who is it? Fucking Gordon or someone says some people just want to see the world burn.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, I'll fucking let you get on with your life. School holidays.
Straight back on the tools with the young fella, I think.
Yeah. We fucking, come on, Dad.
He's looking for some Hungry Jacks by now for sure.
You got him diving?
No, not yet. Actually, last night we went fishing. We're out about, 9:30, and we're talking about, he's like, Dad, did you used to dive in the water at this time? I'm like, yeah, mate. And he's like, he looks at me and he's like, that's so gross. And interesting.
Sorry, mate. The
now-
sharks are asleep.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's right. And interesting now, I looked in the water off the jetty and I was like, oh, yeah, man, it's so fucking gross. It just, a lot of these things just seem like such a world away now. Like,
Yeah.
like we talked about that, all the shark stuff, all that sort of stuff. I just looked in the water and I was like, I'm fucking glad I'm on this side of it, to be honest. I don't have to pretend to be tough or anything. I can say, you know what? I am fucking scared of being in there at night time. It's a prick of a thing.
I'm not going in.
No, you know what? I'm happy to sit on the jetty, eat my ice cream and watch him flick a few lures. Perfect. Happy days. Yeah.
Cool, man. Thanks for being here.
No, thank
Thanks
you,
for the
mate.
chat.
Thanks for what you're doing. It's a good space.
Yeah, no. Fucking good to go. Cheers, mate.
Nice. Thank you.
Bye, guys.